to a DFS strategy video for the 2023 Valspar Championship. My name is Eric, and here at SweetSpotDFS, it's all about trying to hit the optimal lineup every single week. This is a strategy video, so we're taking what we learned from the preview video, adding that to this, or adding it to what we'll also include here with the anchor buckets, as well as the marquee tee times, to really get a more narrow look at the players we want to build our lineups around. And that's what we're going to do at the end of this video, is go through lineup building. Of course, the strategy video includes the marquee tee times. It includes the anchor buckets. I'll also go over my rankings just to show you what was included in the SweetSpot score and basically how the optimizer is going to select the players that we're going to choose. I had some issues with, Stream Deck had its, I use Stream Deck to kind of go over the different transitions and stuff. It had an update and I lost all of my presets. So I kind of had to quickly put that together. So hopefully everything goes smoothly. I might have to do it manually. So you might see me looking down more than I looking up at the camera. Because before I could just use I knew where the buttons were. Anyways, you're not really that interested in all of that. Before I get into the strategy video, just some reminders. I'm gonna see if this works. We'll see if this works. All right, it brought it up. I have a cheat sheet. You can find that in the description of this video. There's a link to that cheat sheet. Once you're here, all that I ask you to do is go to the file menu and make a copy. That way it is yours. You get to do this. You can do with it however you'd like. So you can see make a copy is the fourth option down from the file menu. And that also allows you to use the filters. Although I was just on a call with a follower that was able to use the filters without actually making a copy. So maybe it's possible. I didn't think it was. So maybe that is possible to you guys. Either way, I highly encourage you guys to make a copy. That way you get to use these filters. You get to mock up whatever you want. You can edit the spreadsheet if you make it yours. You can add different rankings in there. You know, I do have my everything that goes into the SweetSpot score is over here as well. So you guys can update these points as you want. You can even add your own columns in here. The metric over here is a sum function, so whatever you add in here will automatically tally it up over there. So that's available to you if you do make a copy of this, and I think it's just a smart thing to do anyways. You also, when you make a copy, have access to the filters that I have on the bucket system. I highly encourage you not to update this because there's no point in updating it unless you have something to add. But if you update any of this is just a copy from my spreadsheet that calculates everything in. There are no formulas in these fields, so there's just no point in updating this. But if you do make a copy, you can do whatever you want with the spreadsheet. This is available to you. Another thing that's available, all you gotta do is be subscribed to this channel, comment down below, comment in the live section, email me at sweetspotdfs@gmail.com, and ask me if you'd like to use the, or not ask me, let me know that you'd like to use the optimizer and I'll send it to you. This is what we'll be using at the end of this video building lineups. So for those in the live chat and those that are going to show up throughout this video, have 2, 3, even 4 golfers ready to build lineups around, and I'll use the optimizer to fill in the rest of your lineup, and it will follow the bucket system. We'll see if we break the optimizer. If that's the case, then the group of golfers you selected don't really coincide with the whole SweetSpot process, and we'll figure that out. So be ready to give me your 2 or 3 favorite golfers, and we'll go from there. These are free to you. There's all you got to do is participate on the channel, comment. I mean, the spreadsheet, again, there's a link in the description. The optimizer, you just have to reach out to me at my email. I have that up right now, so throughout this video, I can certainly send it to you. I have a copy version that's up right now. I can just send you the hard copy of this, and you can build lineups with us. So if that's interesting to you, again, email me at sweetspotdfs@gmail.com. I think I actually have to do this the manual way. Give me a second. Pull that, no. Pull this down. Like I said, the Stream Deck update just, oh my God, it stinks. There is a Prize Picks rebate. So this is another part of the giveaway reminders. There's a link in the description below that'll get you to the sign up page for Prize Picks. It'll already populate the promo code SweetSpot in, and if you put $20 in your account, I will give you your $20 back. Plus, Prize Picks will match that deposit, so they'll give you an additional $20, and you can play this for free with having $40 in your account just using the SweetSpot promo code. Now, they're going to match your deposit up to $100, so you could put $100 in there. You're still going to get 20 from me, and you're still going to get the deposit match from Prize Picks up to $100. So totally up to you. If you're in a state that allows Prize Picks, pretty fun to play. I have to be honest, I haven't played in the last 3 weeks. I don't know. I've just been busy with other things, so haven't really been able to dive into the Prize Picks stuff. But I mean, the last time I played, I won a decent amount of money. So I think it's an easy way to play Prize Picks, especially if you can kind of game the system. You know, it's us versus Prize Picks. It isn't you versus me. So if you, I'll get more into Prize Picks information, more into I'll create some videos for Prize Picks down the road. I just haven't had the time, and really I don't have the data or everything set up to be conducive to doing Prize Picks videos. So that will be somewhere in the near future. Now, not only am I doing a Prize Picks giveaway, but I also what I call a subscriber giveaway. It's a monthly, it's a weekly giveaway. This is also available, not available. If you want an entry into this giveaway, you got to be subscribed. Comment on the live video right now. Comment on any of the videos I post. I only put one preview video out there right now. I haven't really dissected it yet to create all the little smaller videos that I'll also put out. Expect those tomorrow. I'll work on it tonight. Send some of them out tonight. I'll schedule some of them for tomorrow morning. All you got to do is go into those videos, comment on those. Those help the YouTube algorithm to send more people to the channel. So it's my way to reward you. You get an entry into not only the weekly giveaway, but the monthly giveaway. This week, we hit the goal of 500 subscribers. So I'm already giving $50 away. I will up that to $100 if we can reach the new goal, which is 550 subscribers. So that's only for this month. If we don't get to 550 subscribers by the end of the month, then it just turns into a $50 giveaway for the next month. So there's a real chance, there's a possibility that, you know, anyone commenting on any of my videos this month could win $100. So if you want, again, if you want entries into both the weekly and the monthly giveaway, comment here in the live chat, comment on any of my videos that I post throughout this week. Thank you, Edward and Joanne. Good evening. And that's how you get yourself into, or that's how you get an entry into the giveaway. I think it's pretty simple, pretty easy. Those wrap up the giveaways, the monthly, the weekly, Prize Picks. Again, the cheat sheet down below. Also the optimizer. This whole Stream Deck thing has gotten me flustered. Like, I'm trying to go one step ahead and hit the right buttons that are on here. I used to do this, by the way, without the Stream Deck. Actually, now that I think more about this is more of an OBS thing. So anyways, pull those down. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the strategy video. Make sure I hit the right button. And take down the optimizer. All right, so those of you following along, basically what I'm doing is I'm going to the dream sheet of the cheat sheet. So if you are on the cheat sheet, all you have to do is just put that filter on, the DraftKings filter. I'm actually going to hide column I because it's redundant. We already know some of the players here. We don't need to look at the DraftKings information. And I am sorting by the SweetSpot rank. So we're going to talk about the rankings. Now, let's talk about the golfers, I guess, really quickly. I kind of forget to do this every once in a while. One thing that I like to do is look at the salaries of the golfers at the top of my ranking. So we have Justin Thomas, number 1, Matt Fitzpatrick, number 2, Jordan Spieth, number 3, and Sam Burns, number 4. They are our 10K golfers. Now, salary has nothing to do with the rankings. So I think DraftKings did it well. They have the 4 best golfers in the field as their high price golfers. One thing I like to do with the Sweet Spot ranks is kind of look to see who might be a little bit mispriced, and we can do that by comparing salaries next to each other. So right away, I'm sure you guys already spotted Ben Griffin at $8,400. Seems like a pretty good value. I like Ben Griffin on Southeast golf courses. I forget what college he went to. I don't have that information up, but I'm pretty sure it's down in the South. I'd imagine it's Texas. So I like Ben Griffin on Bermuda golf courses. Now, there is some conversation to have. Is this Bermuda or is this overseeded? I saw the tournament fact sheet. It says it's 100% overseeded with POA on the greens. I don't disagree. I've seen past tournaments. I think when Tiger finished second here back in 2018, 2019, you could see the POA really being a factor. Last year, when it said that it was 100% overseeded with POA, we had golfers who came off the golf course talking about this being Bermuda. We also had the broadcast team, both what was it, NBC or CBS at the time, I can't remember, as well as the Golf Channel and ESPN Plus. Those guys were talking about it being Bermuda. 2021 says it was played at the end of April, where it was no doubtedly Bermuda. There was no overseed. Honda Classic was just played a couple weeks ago. I used Bermuda stats there. The Bermuda golfers did better. Now, I have a theory on that because I would have also imagined that most of the Honda Classic was overseeded. I know the Players' Championship was overseeded for sure. But I like the Honda Classic. I imagine that was overseeded. I still use Bermuda, and Bermuda golfers popped at that tournament. I think it's more of a regional thing. So even if this is overseeded, first of all, you're not getting the full strain of grass that's overseeded. So even though if it's POA, we probably aren't going to see a full display of POA characteristics. So you know how POA buds at the end of the day and how it becomes really bumpy. That doesn't really happen when it's overseeded. I will contradict myself and say when I watched Tiger back in 2018 or 2019, again, I don't remember the one. Let's look it up. I have the information. Why not do it? 2018, when he finished second. I remember a bunch of his putts towards the end of that round that they were had POA, and his ball was affected. It was bumping while it was on the green. So in 2018, I agree. It's just I have a little bit of concern when it comes to what actual grass is more prevalent. Now, if you don't already know this about me, I graduated college with a golf course management degree. That includes 3 years of agronomy. I know my grasses when it comes to golf course agronomy. I imagine, like a big part of me thinks that it is overseed and that you should use overseed. And in fact, if you do have those stats that you can use, by all means do it. It's just watching the broadcast last year when for sure we thought that this was all overseed. And then you talk to the golfer, or the golfers were talking to some of the reporters at the end of the day, talking about it being Bermuda. It's just hard to trust it 100%. And I have used Bermuda at this tournament in the past just to show you. So like in 2021, which I guess at the end of the year, April, they were talking about it was Bermuda. You can see all your top, golfers with really good top 10 success rates. They finished up inside the top 10, pretty decent overall Bermuda averages. And if I were to sort this out, you see most of the Bermuda golfers at the top. Well, 2020, there was a tournament, but guess what? I also include this in 2019. So I only went back to 2019 with this, but I also used all the Bermuda information here as well. And most of the Bermuda golfers did well. Again, my theory has to do mostly with golfers who typically play like Florida events or just Southeast events, Southern events. I'm using Bermuda. So I wanted to kind of cover all of that just so you understand. That was probably long-winded and I didn't need to really explain all of that, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from, where I'm getting all that data, why I'm using that information. So Ben Griffin, that was the whole conversation piece. That's where it started. $8,400, supreme value, great on Bermuda golf courses, great in the Southeast. Why not? Like that's a really good value. I'm still going to have my exposures to him. I probably won't play more than 16% of them, but it's a pretty damn good play. And then you just see down there, Akshay Bhatia is number 9 in my model, which a large part of this has to do with his DK points. Like if we were to look at his DraftKings average when it comes to recent form, I have him at 47 points. He's getting a 10-point boost over most people because of how good his DraftKings points are, which is really okay. I was gonna say it's weird that there's all these 37s. I'm imagining everyone is just. I have this based by thresholds, so I imagine a lot of people are in the same threshold. Has to be, because I don't see like all my other stats around. I was gonna say maybe it's broken, but all my other stats around they're different. So maybe I have to go look at it, but guess what? A 10-point boost isn't that big of a difference. Either way, talking about Akshay, yeah. So when it comes to DraftKings points, he's one of the tops. Birdie or better percentage, he's one of the tops. Bogey avoidance, he's one of the tops. Now this comes from 2 events that he just played, the Puerto Rico Open, and I can't remember the other one for this year, but I also have season-long points where he only has 4 events to his name, still crushing the PGA Tour events with his DraftKings points. His round under 70 percentage, that's where he's getting the biggest boost. So if you are following along and you're going to use the optimizer, what you could do, because I'll show you where Akshay is here. We go down to his $7,500 price tag. You can see he has 961 points towards his metric. The optimizer is going to select him a lot. And this is actually my dummy lineup right here, 961. So what you could do is if you do grab the optimizer, just edit this, modify this to whatever you think it would be. So if you want to give him a 100-point deduction, boom, change it to 861 and go from there. You can do that with each of these golfers. You can give them a little bit of a bump if you want. You can, give them a little decrease if you want. Totally up to you. I don't mind. I think Akshay's his scoring potential is extremely high. I don't mind him. This is probably a little bit more challenging of a golf course than I'm comfortable thinking of his potential on, but hey, number 9 in my model, that's fine. That's fine. Again, I'm going to limit my exposures with him also. Won't play more than 16% of him either. So then as I scroll down and I look at some of these other plays, Ben Taylor kind of pops out as kind of a little bit of a value. Justin Suh, to me, probably a bit more overvalued than what he should actually be. 21st in my model, so he's not that far below his price tag. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Justin Suh this week, so it's not a big deal to me. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the golfers. You guys can kind of look. I mean, Maverick McNeely's down here. That's concerning, injury related. So be on the lookout for that. But what goes into my sweet spot ranks? OWGR as usual. The grass, which I'm using Bermuda. There's no secondary grass. Tournament history. Season-long bogey. I can try to include bogey and birdie together right there. Bogey avoidance, birdie or better, driving distance. Again, driving distance is always with me. It's same with off the tee, because the further you hit the ball, the better your scoring opportunities are. Just plain and simple. Recent form points, or recent form stats when it comes to DraftKings points, their average finishing position, as well as their average round-by-round score. And then season-long stats, DK points, once again, their scoring average. That's round-by-round scoring. Round under 70%, cut made percentage, and DK top 10. Like, how often are they inside the top 10 of DK points whenever they play? And then a little bit of a decrease if they're out. You don't really have to worry about that. But again, you can see the rankings or the metric here. That goes into the rankings. So there you have it. Those are your rankings and how they're included. Let me catch up with chat. Casey Henry, I love your fade on Justin Thomas. Do I have a fade on Justin Thomas? If you're talking about this column here, that's just their shot shape. So I'm not sure. I'll be playing Justin Thomas. I'm not going to fade him this week. And thank you for the love. Mr. Byron Levesque. I am just rolling with baseline putting this week. If you putt well everywhere, let's ride. Okay, that's fair. I will challenge you, Byron, and say there's never a moment where one stat pops for every the 6 golfers in a lineup. I would say more than, if you're going to play it smart, grab 4 really good putters and then the other 2 just random. I think it's the best way we do. We are due. You're right, Nate Woods. We are due. I mean, hey, what Gabe said in the beginning of this chat, good luck to, or congrats to Big R, Ryan. He put together a really good lineup using the SweetSpot process. I mean, it was good. He used the buckets to build his lineups. He also used a couple other content creators to find the golfers that he liked and what he wanted, and it was perfect for him. Casey, I do see that you want the optimizer, so let me send it to you really quick. Just gonna send you the optimizer without any message, just because I'm doing this live. Alrighty. Let's move on to the next piece, which are the marquee tee times. Now, the marquee tee times take into account the SweetSpot ranks. So if I sort this by my rankings or the marquee tee times, what I do is I grab the ranking, whatever the ranking of the golfer is, I add it up, and then I rank order it. So I rank order it by top to bottom. Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, they're the #1 group. Their cumulative SweetSpot rank is 20. The next group underneath them is Jordan Spieth, Sam Burns, Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland's the one that's really bringing that bucket or that group down. That equals 41. So that first group, again, equals 20. The second group equals 41. And the third group equals 43. So they're just behind group 3. But that's how I do the marquee tee times. And I have rules that go with the marquee tee times. So again, if you're following along with me on the cheat sheet, all that you have to do once you put the filter on here is just rank by the group ranking. That's all that you have to do to find the marquee tee times. And I like highlighting, you know, each golfer in those marquee tee times just to show you, you know, try to make it more visually appeasing to you. I'm not sure if it is. I guess to me, when I'm looking at it, it is. So maybe, hopefully it is for you as well. Anyways, group 1, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose. Going back to the rules, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. What I have for rules when it comes to the marquee tee times, and this is based off of, you know, every tournament I've looked at dating back to basically a few weeks before Phil Mickelson won the PGA Championship at Kiawah Island. So you do the math. How many ever weeks that went by, you know, how many that was ago? It's over like 60 weeks, I'm pretty sure. Over 60 weeks, looking at the data, I have about 9 or 10 times, maybe less, where we've had, oh, I'm sorry. I am not explaining this well. Put it this way. Here are the rules, and then I'll explain to how I got to the rules. You want to select 2 to 4 groups and 1 golfer from each of those groups, whatever groups that you choose. So if you like the Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose group, you select 1 golfer and that's it. Don't select 2 golfers or more. So do not put like a Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose lineup together. So again, select 2 to 4 groups that you see on the screen, the marquee tee times, and only 1 golfer inside each of those groups that you select. So I just do it a different way. I look at the golfers. Like, I like Justin Thomas out of this group. I mean, I just like Justin Thomas in general. I don't mind pairing him up with like a Ben Griffin. And they're my 2. I have my 2 golfers, and then everyone else is axed. They are out of my player pool. I will not select any more of those golfers if those are my only 2. So that's how I go about the marquee tee times. Why I got to that number, so I'll come back to where I was trying to explain it before telling you the rules. Over the last, you know, I would say it's probably like 70 events now. There's only been an instance where there's 10 events where 2 golfers from the same group were either in the optimal lineup or the GPP winning lineup. So that would be like a Justin Thomas with JT Poston. Now that's a significant number. You know, it's better than 10% of the time, but it's still less than 20% of the time, meaning 80% of the time if you build lineups without pairing golfers together in tee times on the Thursday, Friday tee times, boom. You have the possibility of hitting the optimal lineup that way. And that's what I do every single week. I'm chasing the optimal lineup. So there's no point in me if I'm doing it by the numbers to put two golfers together. So you certainly can. You certainly can. I'm not holding that against you. I say this in all my videos. You can certainly challenge that 10 to 20% of the time that it happens and say this week is the week where two golfers from the same group do finish inside the optimal lineup. By all means do so. I think that's fine. So that pretty much covers the marquee tee times. I'm not going to talk about each of these golfers. This is all built into the optimizer. So I have basically group 1 to group 9 that it indicates the marquee tee time, and you can see all the golfers that are in the marquee tee time. So I have rules written where I want to select at least 2, no more than 4, and only 1, a maximum of 1 from each group. That's what this bucket that's what this condition right here signifies. If you grab the optimizer, you can certainly change this to any number you want. Obviously, there are only 3 golfers in a group, but I just kept it open to 6 just to make it easier for Excel, easier for myself. I don't have to create a new list of numbers to use. So anyways, this is available to you. Again, it's written into the optimizer. So when I build lineups, I don't even have to look at the spreadsheet to try to figure out who I can include and who I have to exclude. So again, those are your marquee tee times. They're already in the optimizer, so we'll be going over that here shortly. What else do we talk about? The anchor buckets. Let me catch up with chat. Casey, okay, gotcha. I see now. Back 9 bets. By the way, Rom's only streak last week in round 2 was in his briefs. That's terrible, Byron. Terrible. I know, man. I thought about that, like, when I was telling you the birdie streak was going to be Rom. Rom was going to get it. Once he withdrew, I'm like, dang it. Now I can't rub it in Byron's face. You win some, you lose some. You know, withdraws, that happens. So, unfortunate. Shot like Harden. Not too late this week. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. When I saw your name pop up briefly, or pop up right here, I was like, oh, wow. You made it here quick. No baseball game today. Casey Henry asks, does your optimizer work for Showdown? Not necessarily. You could do it for Thursday, Friday Showdown. I think that's fine. But obviously it's not going to work for Friday, Sunday, because this is just built for week long. But you could certainly do it for the Thursday, Friday Showdown. I think that's fine. What I would actually do, so this is going to be kind of contradictory when it comes to Showdown stuff, is I actually like playing golfers together in Showdown. I know that sounds weird, but by a round by round basis, I think that's fine. Now, when it comes to the marquee tee times, I still think you want to select somewhere between 2 to 4, but I think you could actually grab 2 golfers from a group. I don't have the hard data on that. I know that golfers draft off of each other. So if they're playing well, if one golfer's playing well, the chances of the other golfer and the other 2 golfers to play better than what they normally would, I wouldn't even say so much normally would, but what they could that day, I think is high. You know, that kind of, the energy throughout a round is infectious, and I do think it helps a lot of players. You even hear it on the broadcast. Golfer or ex PGA Tour golfers will talk about that, saying, yeah, you know, when one golfer's playing well, it's very infectious. You know, you feel that you're also competing against that golfer. It's right in front of your face as opposed to looking at a leaderboard. It's like, if you're going to make a birdie, I'm going to make a birdie on top of you, that kind of stuff. I think that works well. Why it doesn't work with marquee tee times for week long, sorry. Because it's they're playing together for 2 rounds. 1 round, I think that's fine. I think someone can completely eject, I should say, in one of those rounds and play themselves out of making the cut. And of course, then they get reseeded, they get repaired, I should say, on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's not like they're playing together every single round. I just think there's enough. I mean, the numbers, like I say, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm going to use the numbers to my advantage. We don't see in the marquee tee times, and then the marquee tee times have been very consistent since I started doing this with rank ordering them, that the numbers tell me, you know, it's best not to play golfers together. So hopefully that answers your question, Casey. I think you can on Thursday, Friday. I mean, the spreadsheet it includes everybody that will be in the Thursday, Friday tee times. It's just, I think you want to update this down here. You know, maybe I like golfers in group 2 or a group 1, and I want the optimizer to select at least 2. That's what this minimum column means, but no more than 2. I don't want to put 3 golfers together in a lineup. So I think that's probably where you'd want to go. And then maybe you just, I mean, you could do whatever you'd like to do, honestly. You could change this all to 6. So then there's really no maximum. And you could change this all to 0 where there's no minimum. I think that's fine. Edward Gale, do you look at weather for the AM PM waves? You know what? Let me pull up the weather. Anybody remember where this is located? I know it's Innisbrook. I just don't remember what town this is in. Palm Harbor, Florida. Got it. Palm Harbor, Florida. Let me pull up the 10-day weather forecast. So Thursday, and I think Windfinder is probably a better way to go about this, but just to get like a really quick look. 5 to 10 miles an hour Thursday, so it's pretty good. Pretty advantageous for most of the golfers there. Friday, it looks like it's 80 degrees, and we've got 15 to 25 miles an hour. Wow. So actually, that makes me want to look up Windfinder. And then, of course, find Palm Harbor, or, yep. I think that's in Tampa, right? Oh, am I going the right direction? Tampa. Okay. Can we just do this really quick? Palm Harbor, look at that. Got it right away. Let's see, where do we think the Valspar? Where is Copperhead? Probably. Usually you can tell where golf courses are located. My zoom isn't working any more than right here. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google Maps this, aren't I? Wait. Oh my God. Innisbrook. There we go. We found it. We found it. That was actually pretty quick for eyeballing it. Let's see here. So this is Tuesday. Thursday is the 16th. And if we start at 7 a.m., holy moly. I think it's 7 a.m. local time. I think that's how Windfinder does it. So 15 in the morning on Thursday, still at 15, then it drops to 10 in the afternoon, 8 at 4 p.m. Okay, so is this not a PM AM stack so far? What does the 17th show us? Oh my God. 17 at 7 a.m., 20 miles an hour at 10 a.m., 22 miles an hour at 1, 4 p.m. goes up to 22. Oh my God. That's gross. Gross. I see single digits winning this tournament. I bet the winning score is like -7, -8. This is insane. Holy moly. Well, I guess Edward, I think you want to build lineups Wednesday night as late as you possibly can, or wake up super early Wednesday. Make sure that we know what's happening on Thursday. I mean, I'm already kind of not liking, like, for instance, if this wind, so I'm looking at Thursday right now, 7 in the morning, 15, at 7, 15 miles an hour at 10, 1 p.m. it drops down to 10 miles an hour. This is doable. This is pretty decent scoring conditions. You know, 10 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour. That just obviously favors the PM wave for sure. That wind, though, could change. That wind could actually, you know, move to the afternoon, Or all of this can be moved forward, so then Friday's weather forecast with the high winds can actually be pushed, you know, to Thursday night or Thursday evening. So right now, Tuesday night, really hard to distinguish, you know, what to do with the weather stacks. It looks abysmal. Here's what I will say. This is what I learned with the Players Championship. What I did with the Players Championship is I put my PM maximum to 5, and I changed this down to 2 for AM. Guess what happened? The damn course had a weather delay that pushed everybody that was going to be in the hard Friday afternoon round to Saturday morning. And they get to finish their tournament like they did the year before, Saturday morning, when the conditions were calm. So I now kind of have this take where I'm just leaving this as is. I still get a little bit of a boost to my PM golfers, but I'm leaving my AM open now because I don't know. You know, it's hard to, weather's weather, you know, like that's the kind of the smart ass approach. Weather's weather, hard to figure it out. So I mean, if you have one bullet and you want to be extremely aggressive, then yes, do what Joanne says, you know, stack your golfers in one wave. I think that's extremely aggressive. And if it were to bear that out in the stats, I guarantee you less than 10% of winning lineups are that way. So, I mean, it can happen. Obviously, you want to take on that risk, so be it. I think that's fine. All right. Good night. How's it going, man? I've been Passion Cast 2 weeks. That's awesome. Are you just playing cash lineups? That's good to hear either way. Yep, left. Okay, we found it. And feels like it's going to be a PMAM stack. I agree. And Edward, yeah, so I don't, when it comes to the metric itself, I don't include the AM PM stuff. I filter it right here with the optimizer. I just make sure, you know, one is good and the other one isn't. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Okay. Let me move on to the next piece of this video. I love the live portion of this, kind of breaking the monotony, you know, whatever, so we can talk. Let me get back to the last piece I want to bring up, which are the anchor buckets. So speaking of Ryan, who won all the money last week using the buckets, we jumped on a call going over how to find the anchor buckets. So again, I explain this throughout all of my strategy videos. In order to find the anchor buckets, first of all, if you don't already have the cheat sheet, there's a link in the description. Go to that link, go to the bucket system portion of it. First of all, make a copy of the spreadsheet. Then come up to the filter and put the bucket system filter on. That's the first step. Second step, max projections, go to filter by condition, greater than or equal to 2. So you find the filter on max projection, which is on column G. Go to greater than or equal to 2, and hit OK. And we've already eliminated a bunch of buckets to choose from. The second piece to this, you can do this 2 ways. You can either go down in this little section here, use this little scroll on the inside okay, so what you could do is hit clear, the clear button. I'm trying to see why it looks so small. Let me make it bigger for you guys. Perfect. So you'd go in here, and what you could do is just hit this clear button. That removes all the numbers. If you just let this go, everything disappears. But what you could do is select 4, 7, 9, 13. You go to whatever number you feel comfortable with. So you can see, you know, it kind of jumps from 16 to 35. I probably might include 35. I might actually remove it. We'll see. But I'm not going to include 43 and beyond. You can see there's a few numbers there. Now that's one way to do it. So if I hit OK, you're going to see, wait, nothing appeared. Just scrolled up. Just scroll up. So you're going to see this. Actually, I like the buckets that are right here. Another way to do this is, first of all, you could hit clear and then select all just to make it easy. Hit OK. Go back in here and filter by condition and go less than or equal to, let's just say 35, since that's what we just went. And we get the same thing. So you can do it 2 ways. I like to do the filter by condition because it's easier. but you can certainly go in there and handpick whatever ones that you want. This limits the amount of buckets to look at, and it helps us, you know, really pinpoint which bucket we want to grab golfers from. Now, when it comes to the salary buckets, I think we can just eyeball that. It's showing you want at, you know, well, first of all, projections are just inside the top 10. Sometimes you can't build golfers with the projections. So what I mean by that is our 10K bucket shows 1 to 3 golfers are projected to be inside the top 10. So you'd be like, well, I know I want at least 1 10K, but it's telling me I can play up to 3. Well, obviously you can't play 3 10K golfers. That'd be impossible. You certainly could, by the way. You could, but not the best way to go about building lineups. So obviously right there, 10K, that's a good point. The other thing to go with that is, hey, we could have a 10K golfer inside the top 10 for sure, but we could also have 2 in the 9K range inside the top 10, and you couldn't put those 3 golfers together. So how I would do this in the past would be like, okay, 1 to 3. I'm going to go back to for you guys on the cheat sheet, it would be the dream sheet. Go back here. I'll sort from top to bottom. Be like, which 10K golfer do I like? Oh, I really like Justin Thomas at 10,900. Okay, so I can pick 1 to 3 9K golfers. Well, I like 2 of them. I want Harmon in my lineup at $9,100, and I want Fleetwood at $98. I've just used up $29,800 of the $50,000 salary cap, meaning I have $20,000 left. $2,200. What? $20,000 and $20,200. Wow, that's so weird. So yeah, basically, now I can average around $6,700 with the remaining 3 spots. That's not a great way to build lineups either. So although this fits the projection of the anchor buckets like I have right here, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, it's not the best way to build lineups. And if you think 3 9K golfers are going to be inside the top 10 and you like them better than the 1 10K golfer you could see inside the top 10, so let's you know, put a scenario out there. What if Brian Harmon does finish inside the top 10? So too does Denny McCarthy, and so too does Justin Rose. They finish inside the top 10. And then we can add, hey, Sam Burns, he plays pretty well at this tournament. He also finishes inside the top 5. Sam Burns finishes 4th or worse, and one of these guys, or 2 of these guys down here, finish 4th or better. You go with the 9, you exclude the 10K golfer out of your lineup, and you go with the 9K and below. Because that's how you get to the optimal lineup. There's no way that 10K golfer will be in the optimal lineup. And here's the issue. That still fits the projection. Sam Burns still hits for us when it comes to this bucket, and so too do the 3 9K golfers in that bucket. That can happen. That's something you have to consciously think about, and that's something that I always forget to include in my optimizer. So what that would look like is you go on the salary conditions, and you see I'm telling it to at least pick 1 10K golfer as well as 1 9K golfer. Well, in the whole scope of possibilities, what I just mentioned could happen. So I'm going to put these to 0, and then you handpick your 10 or 9K golfers. I have to remember that that's how these projections can happen. I mean, we just saw that with the Players Championship. 36 out of 36 buckets were correct, but we didn't hit the optimal lineup. And that was because other projections were at the high end that had more expensive golfers, and we just couldn't. They weren't optimal lineup golfers. So we had to keep that in mind when it comes to looking at these projections. So again, I say with the salary buckets, you just eyeball it. I think that's fine. I also think we eyeball it with the strokes gained bucket. So really the only 3 buckets I want to really focus on are the last year buckets, the course history, or last year 1, course history 3, and recent form 2. You know, we have a limited amount of golfers in each of those buckets. They basically all range from 1 to 3 to 1 to 4. So let's go ahead and look at our last year 1 bucket. And basically this is just to find anchor plays. That's the whole purpose of this. You have 3 10K golfers right there. Remember I was saying we're going to eyeball the salary buckets? Well, there are 3 10K golfers there. So we could literally cross off 2 buckets just by selecting one of these 10K golfers. And by the way, I like each of these 10K golfers, so I have no issue playing any of them. So if that's something you like to do, then so be it. And then we have a few 9K golfers. Again, we were eyeballing the salary buckets. We got our 9K golfers here. We talked about Brian Harman already, but any of these 9K golfers would be fine. And remember, the projection for this is 1 to 3. So following the 10-9-8-7-7-6 approach, I like starting with a 10K golfer. I don't care which one it is, and pairing him up with one of these 9K golfers. I might exclude the rest of these guys and not even worry about it. But I really like the idea of one of these combining a 10 and a 9K golfer from this bucket and just moving on. So that's what I like with the last year one bucket. And by the way, when I build my lineups, I've already said this before in previous videos. This is what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to start with Justin Thomas, and I'm going to build 4 Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood lineups. Then I'm going to remove Tommy Fleetwood from my optimizer, and I'm going to build 4 Justin Thomas, Justin Rose lineups. I got to make sure they're not in the same group. They are not. Perfect. Same thing goes with Keegan Bradley. I'll build 4 JT Bradley lineups, 4 JT McCarthy lineups, 4 JT Adam Hadwin lineups, and I'm going to go down the list. And I'll show you what that looks like when we build lineups, but that's how I'm going to do it. And guess what? That covers the last year one bucket. I'm going to put a lot of those golfers together. So it's perfect. And I also will cover the salary buckets that way. So super easy, super simple. The next anchor bucket I'm going to cover is the Course History 3 bucket. This one is like 2 to 4, but you could really get away with 1 to 4, I think. And we're going to have a bunch of good golfers in here too. So Course History 3, I think that's what I said. Yeah, Course History 3. Matt Fitzpatrick, that same 10K golfer we were just talking about in the last year one bucket, is there. Adam Hadwin and Brian Harman are there as well. Another bucket I said we could eyeball, the Strokes Gained 1 bucket. This is all color coded. So this dark green color indicates the Strokes Gained 1 bucket. We already know we want to grab golfers from those buckets. Fitzpatrick's in it, Hadwin's in it, Harman's in it. They just seem like easy plays to do. I don't have to worry about it because I'm building lineups using each 10K and each 9K, combining each, every separate combination I can and building my lineups out from there. So that's what I'll be doing. Again, like I said, this is a 1 to 4 bucket projection. So that is to be inside the top 10. You could also use that projection for how many golfers you want to pick from it. And I don't mind that. You could pick up to 4 of these guys because it really drops from, 9K down to 8K and below pretty fast. So grabbing up to 4 golfers from here, I think is just fine. You could certainly do that. I'm going to stick somewhere between 2 to 3, most likely, and then go from there. So that was your Course History 3 bucket. And then the last one we're really going to be talking about are the recent form 2s. And this is a 1 to 3 projected bucket as well. Again, that projection is how many are going to finish inside the top 10. Just helps us understand we might want to pick golfers from this bucket. And when we put our filters on here, guess what? We've got Justin Thomas up there. I think this is the first time seeing Jordan Spieth. Yeah, he's not in the last year one bucket, and he's not in the Course History 3 bucket. So now another 10K golfer shows up. That's not terrible. One 9K golfer in Justin Rose. We were just talking about him in the Course History 3 bucket, so keep that in mind. And then we kind of have some interesting choices. Now, again, this projection is 1 to 3. If Justin Thomas finishes inside the top 10, he alone can succeed this bucket projection. He can also alone succeed the last year one bucket, as well as the 10K bucket. Probably not the Strokes Gained bucket. We probably need more golfers than just him. So if that was the case, if you think it's going to be a JT week, you can ignore the anchor buckets, really, because he's going to cover most of them, not the Course History 3 bucket. And then you don't really have to choose golfers from that bucket if you don't want to. And that makes lineup building a little easier. Just to give you an example. If you think it's JT and that projection's 1 to 3, you could probably throw out the rest of these golfers. There's 15 golfers you can just throw away out of your player pool because JT will be your sole person to succeed that bucket. But again, the projection's 1 to 3, and it's really easy to build lineups with some of the rest of these guys. So you could, again, pair up maybe 2 of these guys, say JT and Ben Griffin, and then again, exclude the rest. Again, and instead of throwing 15 people out of your player pool, now you're throwing 14. You're still throwing a lot of people out of your player pool, and you're still matching the projection for this bucket. Now, again, I do everything with the optimizer. This is all built in. I don't have to worry about, combining those things together because it's already doing it for me in the optimizer. So I already sent it to Casey. Casey Henry has it. If anybody else wants this optimizer while I'm going through this live, I will certainly send it to you. So that covers the anchor buckets. There are no other buckets to really talk about. We went over last year 1, course history 3, recent form 2. JT seems like JT, Brian Harmon. Who's the other 9K golfer we saw? I already forgot. My short-term memory is so bad. I mean, we saw Justin Rose in 2 buckets. Adam Hadwin was in 2 buckets. The last year 1, course history 3. Thomas was in the last year 1, recent form 2. Fitzpatrick were in 2 of them. Last year 1 as well as course history 3. So I mean, not one golfer's in all 3 buckets, it looks like, right? We want recent form 2. The only recent form 2 is Justin Thomas, and he wasn't in the course history 3. So we don't have one golfer that's in all of the anchor buckets. So I think that's just on par for this tournament because it's very volatile. It's another Florida event with a lot of wind. So yeah, I think that's fine. I think, again, I'm building lineups a little differently, and we might as well just get right into it. We'll get into the lineup building. I'm going to throw some music on, and I'll be paying attention to chat. So if you got some questions, of lineup building or just anything in general, I will answer them while I go through this. But we are done with the strategy portion of it. I mean, this whole video strategy, because we're talking about lineup building, but the meat and potatoes are kind of out of the way. Let me know if that music's too loud. It seems loud. Okay. Let me catch up with the chat before I get into building some lineups. Joanne, I totally agree with you. Joanne says good golfers will still do good in the wind. I agree. I mean, your pure ball strikers won't get affected by wind that much. Ryan says, I hit 4 out of 6. That means the optimal lineup. You hit 4 out of the 6 optimal lineup golfers. And I mean, hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Ryan says, also a $100 pivot down from Harmon to Minwoo Lee could have had 5 out of 6. That's just how it happens sometimes. And Shot Like Harden says, Rory and Keegan killed me last week. Yeah, Keegan went full Keegan, didn't he? Full Keegan at a course that he can do full Keegan things at. It's crazy. I can't stand when he does stuff like that. JT Harmon builds seem interesting, and Harmon could take care of CH3. Oh, course history 3 bucket. Yep, that's right. He could. Alrighty, so to cover what I'm going to do this week, like I did last week and what I did during the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and the reason that I'm doing it this way is because in the past, it's the closest I've ever gotten to hitting the optimal lineup. Also, it just proves to it does a really good job. It works for me. So what I will be doing is each of these 10K golfers here at the top, what I will be doing is combining them with each 9K golfer about 4 times. So what that looks like is JT, I'll be playing with Tommy Fleetwood 4 times. So I like to eyeball every single lineup. I don't like to run and save X amount of lineups. So I'll look at this and be like, all right, seems interesting, right? JT, Fleetwood, KH Lee, Akshay Bhatia, Ben Taylor, and Tyson Alexander. Let's say I like it. I just hit that save lineup. Now what happens is you can now see that the optimizer takes care. It looks at, my lineups that I have and how much ownership I have of one golfer. So what it will do is compare that to the exposures that I have. So you can see I have KH Lee at 16% max exposure, where now he's at 100% of my lineups. Well, he's going to be ignored for a while. He's going to be ignored for the next 6 lineups. So I hit Run Optimizer again, and I should get a completely unique lineup because I just saved that last one. And for whatever reason, if you don't like the lineup, let's say you're kind of like me and you're superstitious and see that $7,100 are paired up together. It's like, oh, I don't want to have the same salary together. What you could do on the optimizer is scroll down. First of all, let's not punish Lucas Glover, you know, because right now what the optimizer is doing is kicking him out. And to kick him out, we put in this lock column an N. So we'll remove that. And between SH Kim and Patrick Rogers, so Rogers is $7,100. He's right here. I'm going to select no, because I don't want Patrick Rogers in this lineup. I'll hit Run Optimizer again. And this way I get a new JT Tommy Fleetwood lineup, and now we put two $7,200 golfers together, because that's just how it works. That's just how this stupid thing does stuff. I wish I could write that into code to say, you know, ignore this. I'm going to remove Mullinax from this lineup. Run Optimize once again, and say we like this one. Has SH Kim, David Lipsky, and Troy Merritt. We'll save that one. And basically, I'll do this for every single one. Now, the ones that I just excluded, I'll need to go back in there and reopen them. Otherwise, they're just not going to ever be used, and I don't want that to happen. So remember, we took out Patrick Rogers as well as Trey Mullinax. We'll include them again and run it once more. And now we put Mullinax and Rogers together to go with Glover. I think that's fine, and I actually really like that lineup. So now I've done my 4. Now I remove Tommy Fleetwood from the mix. I can just hit no, and I'll go to the next 9K golfer, and basically I do this all the way through. There are some times where I'll change it up, where I won't just do 4 straight, you know, 10 and 9K combination. Maybe I go, all right, I like this lineup, I'm gonna save it. Okay, instead of going 3 more JT and Justin Rose lineups, I'll now include Keegan Bradley, just to you know, mix it up a little bit. I don't think there's a right way to do it. What I like to do though is once they get saved, I like to split these. Just remove that. We don't need this. What I like to do is I'll save this over to another sheet. I'll save it right here. And I split these up by their combinations. So like, here are my 4. And imagine I did that with every 10K and every 9K combination. What I'll then do is cherry pick one of these. So let's say I like this Tommy Fleetwood, Benny Ann, Johnny Vegas, Matthew Neesmith, and Justin Lauer lineup. I'll, you know, pick that out of that crowd and put it in one of my higher priced contests. And that's kind of how I get exposure to the different combinations. That's also how I can choose which golfer goes to which, or not so much which golfer, but which combination goes to which contest. And I have enough contests that I'm in that are kind of high priced that I think I've got my bases covered when it comes to building lineups. So that's one strategy. That's one strategy. I think what you could also do, and what I kind of got married to for a while, is just go 60 or 70% on one combination. You know, whether, like, if you've pinpointed the combination that you like the most, and say it's a JT Brian Harmon lineup, like Ryan said in the chat, you build 70 of these lineups, or I mean 70% of whatever, how many contests you're playing with that combination in it. Find all the unique lineups that are built with those 2 golfers together and go from there. I think that's totally viable. All right, let's catch up. Good Night says, do you really like Sam Burns this week? I don't mind him. I mean, I saw enough from him at the Players Championship to be comfortable playing him this week. Golfers figure it out pretty quickly. You know, if it's not an illness, you know, like
some days,
geez, these commercials are just awful.
They can be a memory.
If it's not an illness, like say Jimmy Walker with Lyme's disease, or you know, some kind of autoimmune disease, and it's not a back or a neck issue, I think any golfer can snap out of it. And if you can put a good string of rounds together at a tournament like Sam Burns did last week, I think that's plenty enough to be comfortable playing him, you know, the next week, especially someone of his caliber. Like Sam Burns, you know, last year we were talking about how he was going to be an elite golfer. Had he won 3 events in 1 calendar year, I can't remember, or one full year, something like that. I mean, hey, that certainly can happen. Alex goes, or actually, hold on. You really sound okay. We're there. Barry called one or more of Rahm, Scheffler, Rory getting cut. Yeah, Rory looked terrible. Oof. Rose, Hadwin, wave stack. Joanne, you want me to build lineups around Rose and Hadwin? I certainly can. Alex McCullough, nice to see you. Nice call on Minwoo Lee last week. I bet you're trying not to be a tout, but any chance to have a similar play this week? Yeah, I think with the Minwoo call, I think what I had said was he was at the bottom of the optimizer. And I'm like, well, this is a little bit out of place. I would have cut him out of lineups that were being built. But I thought at his price tag at like $7,300 that it was, you know, a pretty good value. Like he has a lot of good potential. I forgot at the Players Championship, for whatever reason, international golfers do really well. I also said even Cam Davis. I mentioned Cam Davis last week. I'm like, hey, this is a sneaky play. Said it was a sneaky play, not a smart play, but a sneaky play. Because I just thought, again, to go along with Sam Burns, that conversation with Sam Burns, if it's not like an autoimmune disease or an illness that is lingering, because I know, you know, Cam Davis did have an illness, but if it's not something that weakens you, like you're not physically weak and you can't prolong a full round tournament, I think you just ignore whatever's happening to that golfer and just jump on him when the opportunity presents itself, basically. That's all. I think that's all that. I think that's how I got to Minwoo. And you know, like Minwoo at the Honda Classic didn't look that great, and I think that's what helped bring his price tag down. I think that was. I mean, yeah, it was. I don't know. Just seemed like an opportune time to play him. $7,300. So I'll look for that, Alex. I'll try to find someone like that. Edward Gale, Rose Hadwin start. So okay, so it looks like two people in the chat want to start with Rose and Hadwin. We'll do that. We'll build some Rose Hadwin lineups after I catch up with chat. Barry R, what's up, man? What's going on? Nice to see you in chat. You and Shot Like Harden can, you know, continue your bromance. MD JT Fitz Hickok is the nuts this week. All right, man. You want to put money where your mouth is? We'll build some of those lineups. Joanne likes Rose Hadwin and D Woo. Dylan Woo. Okay. Am I gonna get a commercial after every freaking video? Seriously? What the hell? That is stupid. That stuff. You know, one of the interesting things, just to share a little bit here. So SweetSpotDFS is not my primary YouTube, but it's obviously my YouTube for my golf content. When it was kind of like with all the videos I posted, it became like a business channel, and it removed all commercials. Like a commercial would appear for like 2 seconds and disappear, where most people have to watch at least 5 seconds. It might not even show up for 2 seconds. It's like a commercial is about to happen and then just disappear. So, oh, music is a little too loud. Okay, perfect. I like the feedback. How's the music now? Let me know. Let's see here. Oh, good night. I shouldn't even say my primary channel. Personal channel. I have a personal YouTube. I mean, I had that since like 2005, but I mostly do everything through the SweetSpot channel now. Let's see here. Woo was decent, but Grillo, thumbs down. Burnsy owns this place. You're right, Charlotte Carden. Rory absolutely destroyed. Yeah, I mean, like the strategy that I just spoke about, that's what I did last week. So nothing really hurt me, but I didn't have any Scotty Scheffler. Who was the 9K golfer up there? I already forgot, but I didn't have I had that combination, but then I didn't have the 4 golfers to go with them, so it didn't work out. Oh no, Barry R's liking Keegan and Burnsy this week. That's right down Charlotte Harden's alley. Oh. Charlotte Harden says my best week ever was actually the Valspar 2021. I remember having Burnsy, Keegan both at 79, and they finished first and second. They were in the optimal lineup. Yeah, if anyone has issue with the music, I can certainly turn it down. I've got full control, so you let me know. Oh, shot like Harden. Yeah, the wind at 22 miles an hour. Absolutely, dude. I'm not even like, it doesn't even make me feel comfortable that the wind is kind of quiet Thursday afternoon. I feel like that can change in the next 2 days. That can change big time. Oh, okay. Yeah. So for me, I think when it comes to when I build lineups, I tried not to leave a lot of money on the table. So I definitely would have probably went with Hovland over Hideki, because I think Hideki was what, like $8,300 and Hovland was 89. So let's see here. Mr. Gale would like the optimizer. You got it, man. Anyone else that wants the optimizer, I'll send it to you right now. So what's currently on the screen is just a copy of it. So Edward, I'm sending you the optimizer. I will not send a message with it since we're doing live chat, but there you go. Sent.
I supported many customers as a college student working at Lowe's. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's super special.
All right.
Lowe's to help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do anything with that private channel or with my personal channel. I'm just going to keep it just for, you know, what I'm interested in, because quite frankly, I have my own opinions on life and, you know, politics and all that good stuff. I'm not ever going to include that in this channel. Like, screw that. This is just golf. We're just enjoying golf. We don't need to get into any of that stuff. So I also don't want that to show up on this channel, you know, like as I go through stuff, and it's like, I don't want it to ever be linked to whatever I enjoy at the moment, enjoy at the year. So that's why. I think we have some lineups to create, right? Oh no. Oh no. Hit the back button. So we have some Hadwin and Rose lineups to build, I believe, right? JT, Fitzpatrick, Hickok is one lineup, and Rose, Hadwin, Dylan Wu. Okay, so what should we, let's do, since the Rose Hadwin will be stuck in my head, the JT Fitz Hickok lineup is something I will not remember. So let's do what MD says. So JT, Fitzpatrick, and Kramer Hickok, which we tried making Hickok work last week, didn't we? That didn't work out, did it? Alex, you mind sending me an email? Just send me a quick email saying yo, and I'll send it to you. Oof. Tyson Alexander, Justin Lau. Look at this. You know how I said like you can't really do a 10-10-9 lineup? Well, I might be disproved. Nah, I still wouldn't do something like this, but like I don't mind going to someone like Lauer this week. Last week he showed up in the optimizer a few times. He didn't do well last week. He was like $7,000 at the Players Championship, and now he's $6,500 at the Valspar. Alex, if you want, Minwoo kind of. I mean, this is like if I put it like on a tier level of tout, Minwoo was probably an A tier tout. This would be like a C tier tout. So keep that in mind. This is kind of a lower level, you know, like pretty good for his price tag. I just don't know how well like he does with Bermuda or anything like that. But I think what I'm going to do is remove Kevin, or I say Kevin Roy in the chat. I'm going to remove Tyson Alexander from this. 781. That's crazy. You know what? Tyson Alexander, since after the Sony Open, has showed up in this optimizer a ton of times when it comes to, you know, including a low 6K golfer. All right, so something like this, I think, is like extreme high upside. Justin Thomas, Matt Fitzpatrick, Brian Harmon, Justin Lauer, Carl Yuan, and Kramer Hickok. Hickok, by the way, lower value than Yuan and Lauer, which is kind of interesting. I'm gonna limit the 6K golfers to 1. That way now the optimizer really has to make a choice when it comes to building these lineups. Oh, it breaks it. Okay. So you need 2 6K golfers in your lineup in order to make this work out. Oh, whoa. No, just wait. Let's do a 0 there. Let's do a 0 here and a 0 there. I forget that we have some salary constraints here. So let's rerun this. There we go. This is a little bit more reasonable. Akshay Bhatia, Ben Taylor, Lucas Glover. Not terrible. I'm really not. I mean, like, we were just talking about Akshay. If you don't agree with that value, if you have this optimizer, you can change this value in here. So we can change this to an 861 if we wanted to. And go from there. I'm going to keep it at 961 because I want to see how many Akshay like lineups actually look good. And obviously what the optimizer is going to do is it's going to kick out, you know, it's going to build me a bunch of unique lineups. So I don't mind seeing a few Akshay lineups. But I'm going to set him to no. Kevin Roy could be your lower money flyer. I don't care for Kevin Roy, if I'm being honest. I think he still has a lot to do to prove to me that he can be an optimal lineup golfer. And I really don't like someone who hasn't been on tour for very long at the Valspar Championship. I just, that's my personal opinion. So yeah. New lineup: Ben Griffin, David Lipsky, Justin Lauer, and Kramer Hickok. So I like that one. We were to go with 2 10K golfers to go with Hickok. I'll build one more. I'm not a huge fan of putting 2 10K golfers together this week, and I'm really not a huge Hickok fan, but since someone in the chat mentioned it, I'm going to as well. Or I'm going to build those lineups for them. Let's remove. I don't want Lipsky in this lineup. 829. Justin Lauer's just showing up a ton. So Ben Griffin, Grayson Sigg. So Grayson Sigg replaces David Lipsky. Let me get rid of Justin Lauer and build one more lineup. I'm fading Fitzy, so he'll probably win. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, Shot Like Harden, for sure. And Good Night says Stars and Scrubs. You don't like? First of all, let me go through this lineup here. Ed Griffin, Matthew Neese. So this is my favorite lineup we've built so far, going Thomas, Fitzpatrick, and Kramer Hickok. So if you wanted one, I think this is a pretty good lineup right here. But I don't personally see myself, doing the Stars and Scrubs approach. And just to answer that good night, let me kind of run through the past optimal lineups. So the reason that I'm not doing a Stars and Scrubs approach is because, like, if we were to go back to, some optimals here, it's pretty balanced, and you could build some 10, 9, 8, 7, 6K lineups together. So, like, in 2018, you've got 2 9K golfers, an 8K golfer, 2 7s, and a 6. That pretty much follows the 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. Sure, there are 2 10K golfers right here, but they're pretty expensive. I mean, like, when they don't finish first and second, it's really easy to exclude them out of the lineup. And then when we look at like something 2019, I think we see nearly the same thing. It's like 9 9 8 7 7 6, the exact same thing. Again, 2 10K golfers, but they finished 6 plays. You wouldn't want to put those guys together, and you certainly couldn't put, like, I mean, the pricing was a little bit different, but you really can't put 2 of these 9K golfers together with like a 10K golfer. You kind of have to do more of a balanced approach. And then 2021, I created a realistic optimal. That was a 10 9 8 7 7 Shot Like Harden with his Burnsy and Keegan lineups, and then a $6,000 Vaughn Taylor. So I think you could go like 9 9 8 7 7 6, 10 9 8 7 7 6. You could do anything like that. I think that's fine. I think this tournament has just shown over the years, like, here's more of a Stars and Scrubs for you. JT with the realistic, or the sweet spot optimal, I should say, in 2022. 11,000, Sam Burns 9, Fitzpatrick 9. Then we got a low 7 and 2 6s. So this is really a Stars and Scrubs build right there. I'm not sure really if it's necessary. Like, you could go, the GPP lineup scored 616 points. That's all I have to beat. So I could go like JT, Sam Burns. Let's use Matthew Neesmith. Let's pretend we don't know who Davis Riley is. Go Brian Harmon. Let's not use Fitzpatrick since he's pretty expensive. Let's drop down to Hadwin. And now I have $7,100 that I can play with. Maybe we don't do Hadwin. We go Streelman and then Thigala. This is $49,900. So this would be a 10, 9, 3 7s, and a 6. And I guarantee you this beats the GPP winning lineup. 652. So it beats it by 40 points. 36 points. So yeah, I think as I went through the optimal lineups yesterday in the preview video, as I kind of look at the leaderboard, like the salary leaderboard for this event, more and more I'm kind of, really falling in love with going 10 9 8 7 7 6. So I think that's how I will be starting my lineup builds. Alex, I am sending you the optimizer right now. There you go.
Take your videos offline.
All right.
Uninterrupted.
Stars and Scrubs? No. Webb Simpson, Fitzpatrick, and Knox. Try this. That's disgusting. I'll do it. That's fine. I doubt that those golfers are in buckets we want more. Like, if they're in the same bucket, it's probably gonna break. So Simpson, Fitzpatrick, and Knox. Okay. Well, so far, looks pretty good. Hey man, that actually builds out pretty nice. Fitzpatrick at 10, Harmon at 9, Griffin at 8, Benny Ann at 7,900, Simpson at 73, and Knox at 69. So like that shot like hard and horrid. That's gross. Well, now that it's on the screen, I don't mind it. And hey, good night. That's exactly why something like that will work. For sure. For sure. We're all here just bashing it, and it's going to be one of those lineups that, look, I mean, you got to include Harmon and Griffin in your lineup. Like, that's pretty good. I don't mind Benny Ann, but let's cross him out. He's going to be someone that just going to fail us. Everyone's going to get on him this week because he did somewhat decent last week. All right, so I guess your dreamer lineup is right here. This is a dreamer lineup through and through. Young guy in Akshay, young guy in Suh, to go with, you know, old timer who's 2 years older than me. That's insane. Webb Simpson's only 37 years old. That's insane. Like, I can't let that sink in. When I found that out, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Last week, he's 37 years old. It's insane. I thought he's getting ready for the Champions Tour, like within the next few years. He's not even close. Not even close. Yeah, this is a pretty decent lineup. Again, we're including Harmon. I'm gonna exclude Suh. I'm not a huge Suh guy this week, but maybe this is a perfect time to play him. Excuse me? Oh, see, I do this all the time. I mean to go lock them out, but I lock them in. Well, well, well. Welcome to the party, Mr. Victor Perez. Harmon, Griffin, Simpson, Knox, and Victor Perez. By the way, I had to alter Victor Perez's metric, so it's not going to match what shows on the dream sheet as it does in the optimizer, primarily because he has no PGA Tour events, so he gets no real scoring when it comes to my model. That's why. Yeah, look it up, shot. Webb Simpson is 37 years old. And yes, I agree. I would have thought he was 45. I thought he was like Matt Kuchar's age, honestly. They seem like they'd be like, you know, best buddies. Yeah, that's true. We know why he has a bad back, though, right? It has to do with all the kids that he makes. I think he's at 5 now. Insane. Who do we X out of this one? How about Brian Harmon? Let's do that. I do like Harmon this week, by the way. You remember me 2 weeks ago when he was at the Honda or something like that? I was like, nah, I don't like Harmon at events like this, but whenever he gets over like $9,000 for whatever reason, I think he's a good play. This would be one of those moments. I think Brian Harmon's a good play at $9,100. Oh my god, my mouse isn't working. Okay, perfect. Let's see here. Crossing out Harmon, building a new lineup. And it breaks. So it looks like we have to include Harmon. Is that because of the 9K thing? I bet you it is. Yep. Wow. Fitzpatrick, Knox, and Simpson welcome in Justin Thomas and Akshay Bhatia, as well as SH Kim, which I don't think that's a terrible lineup. I think that's fine. This song sucks. Bad Snacks is what it's called. No thanks. And another commercial. What is up with these commercials? Get out of here. All right. We're done with that combo. I think we have some Rose and Hadwin lineups to build. That seems to be the consensus for a few of us out there. Rose, Hadwin. I gotta take out the 10K, making sure it selects one 10K golfer. So, let's see what our best. I think Dylan Wu was another guy, right? We want to put Wu together in this lineup. We'll do a few with Wu and then we'll do some without. Yeah. I'm not a huge Harmon fan, honestly. I mean, I can't watch that little guy walk around the golf course looking like he's a badass. You know, like he always looks like he's crabby or like don't mess with me type of mentality. The bulldog look. Yeah, no, there's no way I'm intimidated by you, Mr. Brian Harmon. Anyways, Rose, Hadwin, Ben Griffin, KH Lee, Akshay Bhatia, and SH Kim. Hey, I don't mind that lineup. That's a very good balanced lineup, but I'm going to kick out KH Lee. Actually, let's kick out Akshay. We don't need to see any more Akshay lineups. It's always nice to see him once, but we'll kick him out. We'll take a look at the other ones. Rose, Hadwin, Griffin, KH Lee, Ben Taylor, and Trey Mullinex. I don't mind that. Not really my cup of tea, but fine. Ow. Rose, Hadwin, Griffin, KH Lee, Vegas, and Patrick Rogers. All right. I'm gonna cross out KH Lee. It's not that I don't like him at this event. I just don't want to see him that much. I want to see some different lineups. Rose, Hadwin, Griffin, Johnny Vegas, Joel Damon, and Ben Taylor. I also don't like playing Joel Damon. I don't care how fun of a personality he is. I don't like his golf swing, for one. Two, I don't care for his personality. Call me a stickler. It is what it is. But at this event, I'll play some Joel Damon. I don't mind. I'll say all that stuff, but I don't mind. Yeah, and so Charlotte Cardins, he says everyone loves Akshay this week. And I think top 20 is a good bet. I think you could even top 10 him. I mean, he's in a few buckets that show up. I'm sure he's going to show up in a lot of my lineup builds. Might as well all jump on together. Now, I will say 7,000 chalk, probably not the best chalk, but the potential that guy has, pretty off the charts. I should say that. It's not like he's a prodigy and he's going to be like the best upcoming golfer. But the guy makes a ton of birdies, which might be difficult this week. So maybe we need to, well, is he in the PM or the AM wave? He has an AM, so he's going to really get hit with the wind. We'll see if how well he can handle it. Maybe top 20 was the best bet. Probably don't put top 10 on him. Okay. Neesmith, yeah, I don't mind Xing him out. Here's a lineup I can get behind. I really like Alex Smalley almost any week. You know, a hole-in-one kind of saved him last week. Wasn't really hitting his irons that well. Obviously got the hole-in-one, but I think this is another good talent. Duke boy, I think, right? I think he's from Duke. Hey man, give me a good old Southern boy and a Southern golf course, and I'm fine. Alex Smalley, I think, is a decent play this week. Yeah, that's fine. I agree, man. I'm never afraid of chalk. Like, I don't need to get on a chalk soapbox. You all know what I feel like about chalk. It's not like any of us are really going to be able to, you know, like, it's not like all the energy in the world for everyone wanting to play or everyone wanting him to do well is going to turn him into a worse golfer or a better golfer. Nothing's going to change his potential heading into this tournament. So, I mean, yeah, we could talk more about it, but that, whatever. Here's a great lineup. I really like Will Gordon this week, by the way. Another Southern boy on a Southern golf course. I like that. And Ben Taylor, does anyone know what he was sick with last week? Does anyone know off the top of their head? Let me just do a quick check. I think Ben Taylor was out last week, and I don't remember why. Oh, it doesn't even say. Am I thinking of the right golfer? I think he was in the field, but then withdrew, right? I remove all the golfers that were out from my spreadsheets when I do the review, so I don't know. Unexpected Tingle. I'm not sure how to take that name, but hi, do you like Harry? What a fucking troll. Actually, I like Hugh, last name Jass. That guy is probably my favorite golfer of all time. Oh, Ben Taylor got married last week. Oh no. Oh no, his wife made him withdraw from the Players Championship. I don't know how we feel about that one. Oh, for real? I think he had shoulder surgery, didn't he? Didn't Johnny Vegas have shoulder surgery? For those that aren't seeing the live chat right away, because it takes 24 hours for the live chat to get included in the video. So if you're watching this Wednesday, Shot Like Harden says, Steve Elkington said last week before the Players, Johnny Vegas has a hurt elbow again, and he sure played like it. Yeah, I mean, he looked good at the Honda Classic, but I thought that was all figured out. But that's unfortunate. Edward Gale, Fleetwood, Rose, and Clark. But Fleetwood and Rose are in the same group. Can we break a rule? Sure, we can break a rule. That's fine. Oh, Joanne's still watching. I gotta build her some more lineups. You want to know something? Good night. Kelly, John's wife, wouldn't plan a wedding where Rom would have to miss an elevated event. So I put the onus on the wife to be, or the wife. Uh-oh, Anna's in the chat. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Divorce her now and run for the hills. Yeah. So I think we gotta play Ben Taylor then, right? Anna, by the way, I see all of the snaps while they were going through. It's very distracting. Okay. Moving on. We're building more lineups. James Hahn. Anyone on James Hahn this week? And his good live takes? Probably not me. Yeah, good night. Rom got married at Torrey Pines, where he also... Actually, I don't know if he got married there. He obviously proposed to Kelly at Torrey Pines because that's where they met. Anna, I've got things to do, okay? I'm a busy guy. I'm so sorry. I will get back to you later. You can also just chill in here, of course, with the 10-second stream delay. Hey, by the way, in the preview video, I was talking about Robert Streb. I like Robert Streb this week. I'm never going to shy away from playing Robert Streb. He's a solid golfer. I think he can get around the golf course pretty decent. Rose, Hadwin, Harmon, Griffin, Ben Taylor, and Streb. Sign me up. I like that one. Han, second worst next to Harvard. That is, that's an interesting comparison. Han to Harmon. Is that just because they both have H names as their last name? Is Edward Gale not happy with what follows G? Is that what it is? He just has this disdain for guys with H names. I think that has to be the only case. I'm kidding. Yeah, Han has been pretty irrelevant for the longest time. I like this lineup, by the way, Joanne. Pretty decent. Who? Are we talking about Han? Is he a win player? I'm not sure who we're talking about. I have no idea, to be honest. No idea. Rose, Hadwin. Ooh, I like this lineup. This has a lot of potential. Unexpected Tingles just coming in here and just blowing up. He's just trying to mess up the chat. I'm thinking this week would be a good one for Will Zalatoris and Robert Strebthroat. Oh, well, okay. Good night, Streb. He's won the what's the tournament? Sea Island. What's that tournament called again? During the fall swing at Sea Island. What's it called? The RSM Classic. He won the RSM Classic. I mean, I think that's during a wind type of golf course. He doesn't hit the ball very far, but I think he hits it low enough to not really, I don't know. I don't like the whole hitting the ball low versus, I mean, he hits the ball low because he doesn't hit it far. But I don't mind Streb. He's a good grinder, grind it out type of golfer. This other lineup isn't terrible. I don't know if I really care for Lipsky on Bermuda golf courses. Although again, this is overseeded, so who knows? Maybe it's fine. Lipsky's good on POA, and this is a POA overseed, so yeah. Soiree, Sea Island Soiree. Look at this guy coming in with the words. Unexpected Single has to be a burner account for someone we know, right? It's got to be. Hold on. Is Barry still in the chat? Do we still have Barry? Barry, if you're still here, Steven Yeager. Are we doing Jaeger bombs this week? Shot like Harden, are we doing Jaeger bombs this week? I'll let you guys catch up. I don't mind this though. This seems like a pretty decent lineup. It's probably Byron. Yeah, that would make sense. So we're gonna catch Byron one of these times slipping. He's gonna show us. He's got a couple burner accounts out there. Who asked for Wyndham Clark not too long ago? All right. Unexpected Tingle, you definitely have my attention. That was another good one. Jeez. I'm not saying that stuff on. Well, I could. It's not like I'm going to get banned for anything.
YouTube Music Premium is an experience that gives you complete control.
Okay. Hey, I think it was a good play. This lineup that's on the screen, by the way, that's what I was looking for. Wyndham Clark. Who said Wyndham Clark? There was a combination that we included Wyndham Clark in. Whoever brought it up, say it again. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through this. Alex McCullough, thoughts on Dylan Wu and or Ryan Armour? I'm seeing pretty good GIR on them recently. I'm sorry I missed that, Alex. I'm seeing it right now. I don't mind Dylan Wu. I think that's fine. Ryan Armour, I think, has a ceiling. And that ceiling is probably 15th place, 14th place, maybe even 12th. You probably could win a GPP with him, but it would have to be, you know, his best event, you know, out of the last 52 events, something like that. Like he doesn't have a very good possibility of performing well here, I don't think. But yeah, Dylan Wu, I mean, I need to put some Dylan Wu lineups together. Did I actually make Dylan Wu not be a part of the... I think I looked him up, didn't I? Did I put no for him? Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. Okay. So Burns, Rose, Hadwin, Ben Taylor, Stuart Sink, and Dylan Wu. That's a pretty good lineup. Joanne, I'm sorry I didn't have Dylan Wu in any of those earlier lineups. I'll clear out the locks here and see if it builds us a different lineup. I'm sure Akshay would be a part of it. Yeah, of course he is. Griffin, Cagely, guys that we kind of excluded before. So let me go ahead and do that again. Let me remove some of these guys. Cagely and Akshay, I don't think I really want them in the lineups. Jaeger is the bomb. All right. Ben Taylor. Oh yeah, Vegas. We want Vegas out of there as well. Let's see here. That's not terrible. All right. I think we're done with the Dylan Wu. I mean, this actually includes Sam Burns, Rose, and Hadwin. It's not terrible. All right. Joanne, I hope that helps. If you have some other lineup ideas, let me know. Fleetwood, Rose, and Wyndham Clark. That's right. We have to change one of the rules. Don't remember. There he is. Alrighty. It's a solid lineup. Fleetwood, Rose, Clark, Batia, Ben Taylor, Patrick Rogers. Not terrible. Yeah, I don't really care about Lipsky. I'm probably going to remove Akshay here pretty soon. Here, I like Lee Hodges this week, by the way. So, like, this lineup here, I'll probably save this one just to have for later. Don't mind that one. If you wanted an Akshay lineup. Do you think it's important to have some lefties and righties in the lineup to balance it out? Yep, sure do. I think that's one way to balance it out for sure. Fleetwood, Rose, Wyndham Clark, Joel Damon, Ben Taylor, S.H. Kim. Edward Gale, do you think this lineup is good? I actually don't mind it at all. Damon, I mean, Ben Taylor's probably going to show up a bunch, but I think that's fine. S.H. Kim, I do like S.H. Kim this week too. There's not that much water where he Well, I mean, there are some holes with water, so he might find those water holes. But I think, by and large, this is a good course for SH Kim. Fleetwood Rose, Clark, Gordon. Obviously, like Gordon and Trey Mullinax. I don't mind Trey Mullinax.
Electric vehicles are worth watching.
And I also don't mind Troy Merritt. So Ben Taylor's showing up a ton. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I probably just remove him so he doesn't keep showing up. The lineup built and I didn't even see it. Fleetwood Rose, Clark, KH Lee, SH Kim, and Lucas Glover. I don't mind that either. I don't mind Lucas Glover at this course, by the way. Fleetwood, Rose, Clark. Okay, so we don't want Vegas in our lineups, right? But like Justin Lauer, I don't mind putting Justin Lauer in the lineup. Gary Woodland. Okay. For his price tag, I was just going over this in the sweet spot ranks. Kind of overvalued, but I mean, I don't mind putting a Gary Woodland lineup together. I think that's fine. This lineup that's on the screen, I think, is pretty good too. Fleetwood Rose, Wyndham Clark, Will Gordon, SH Kim, and Luke List. I think that's fine. Do you want me to replace Wyndham Clark with Gary Woodland at all? I can certainly do that. I am for sure thinking now Unexpected Tingle is Byron. Has to be. Has to be. I like Trey. I mulled it over and I axed it. Okay. Nick Taylor's interesting, but putting needs to stay hot. I don't. Yeah. Has this putting. Okay, hold on. Has this putting been hot? Let me pull up my strokes gained stats. So, Taylor. So Nick Taylor, you said his putting has been hot. Is that just because of the stroke chain stats are hot? Or what indicates that his putting has been hot? Missed the cut at the Players? Missed the cut at the Arnold Palmer Invitation? Or are we just saying we're hoping his putting will be hot and then he can maintain it like throughout the round? I think that's probably what you mean, now that I think about it. Sure. I just, Nick Taylor's a pretty solid golfer, right? I think that's decent. So, Edward, do you want me to include some people that have been axed already? So like Johnny Vegas, Akshay, Joel Damon. Do you want me to include some of these guys? Do you want me to start out with a clean slate? You said Lauer you think was sneaky, so I'll include him. I'm gonna include Lee Hodges. Just let me know. Whatever names you just saw on the screen, let me know. It's not terrible. 998876. Fleetwood, Rose, Woodland, Griffin, Matthew Neesmith, and Carl Yuan. I think that's fine. Replace Yuan with Barnes. That's fine too. I don't mind that. I don't care for Reevy. Probably won't do Reevy. It looks like it's just got this 5 golfers here. Why? Does it break if I remove one of these golfers? Excuse me. 863.54. Why do I? Oh, I don't scroll all the way down to the no. Okay. Ooh, Cody Gribble. Yeesh. Why is it? It is like hyper focused on Ben Griffin, adding Ben Griffin. He might be a glue piece that we need to include. SH Kim and Ryan Armour. So there's Ryan Armour for Alex, who was asking about that earlier. Let's see what happens if I remove Ben Griffin. It might actually... might break it. It doesn't. Weird. Okay, so here's a good lineup. I don't care. Actually, you know what? Bo Hosler at this course, I could get behind it. I'm not a huge Bo Hosler fan, but it's fine. Talking about Carl, you want to put him in? Fleetwood, Rose, Woodland, Shelton, Alex, Smalley, and SH Kim. That's a good lineup. I like that lineup. So Fleetwood, Rose, I'm going to keep that lineup. Oh, I forgot this breaks the sweet spot process, so I shouldn't be saving these lineups. Wouldn't be sticking to my brand. Okay. I think that's enough of those lineups. We got any other combinations out there, by the way? Actually, you know what? I'll build one more for you. And I still will have that roll call for anyone that wants me to build lineups with other golfers. There we go. We got Justin Lauer. Comes full circle. Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Woodland, Benny Ann, Will Gordon, and Justin Lauer. So this is like a community lineup right here. You wanted Fleetwood, Rose, and Woodland. We got Shot Like Harden talking about Benny Ann. I think Edward was talking about Lauer being a... Yep. Edward was talking about Lauer being a sneaky play. And I like Will Gordon. I mean, I guess Edward has 4 golfers that he likes here. I think it's fine. Any other combos, though, by the way? Mentioned it already, but I'm going to remove these. Probably also just instantly just say no to Akshay, because he's just going to show up. I forgot to post this on the Twitters. My bad for anyone that was expecting to see that there. I forgot. Let me send a tweet. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna say currently live. There we go. Currently live. Don't mind me, gentlemans and gentlewomen's. Go. Taylor Moore and Ben Griffin. Oh, time to blast people with the Keegan Burnsley lineups. That's right. Okay. Shot Like Harden. I'm going to save that a little bit later. We'll do some Taylor Moore and Ben Griffin lineups. I have to ask, why Taylor Moore? By the way, did they add him and Keegan in the same lineup? So Keegan is in group 5. Is Taylor Moore in group 5? Oh my. If Taylor Moore was in group 5 with Keegan Bradley, the powers together that they would have with how massive their craniums are. I mean, I think we just call them the cranium bashers at that moment in time. All right, Joanne, have a good night if you are leaving, and good luck this week as well. Appreciate you stopping by. That's right, Shot Like Heart. Saving the best for last. Matt Fitzpatrick to go with Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Ben Taylor, and David Lips. Sure, I guess Lipsky's not a terrible play. I don't mind that, I suppose. I kind of want to keep it. I don't like it, but like what we're stating in chat, that's probably where the lineups are actually going to be good. DFS Luke is a veritable demigod? Is veritable even a word?
Head to SeenOnEV.com to learn more.
An intensifier. Use as an intensifier, often to qualify a metaphor. Okay. All right. I have a sneaky feeling we'll be in a close to optimal. Okay, that's fair. That's answering the Taylor Moore question I had. I don't want this one. Sure. Let's exclude Johnny Vegas from this lineup. Don't care for this one. Denny McCarthy, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Ben Taylor, Trey Mullinax. Not terrible. So Ben Taylor is just one of those other values that he's going to be showing up a bunch. I don't mind him. I think he's a good play. I'll X him out of the next one. I'm not sure, Good night. I have no idea who Unexpected Tingle is. I've seen him in the chat a few other times. Denny McCarthy, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Joel Damon, and SH Kim. That's not terrible. Not sexy. Oh, I need the sexy stamp of approval from Shot Like Harden. I don't think we've gotten to a lineup that's sexy, though, if I'm being honest. Fitzpatrick, Keegan Bradley, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, oh, okay, so this is our last Ben Taylor lineup. And Kevin Streelman. So I like that lineup a lot on the screen. This is a pretty decent lineup. And I'm sure Shot Like Harden probably likes it. I'm not going to ask for the sexiness level for this one. No thanks. So Ben Taylor, 7,200 out. Okay. I like the upside of this one. Fitzpatrick, Harmon, Griffin, Taylor Moore, Steven Yeager, and Tyson Alexander. I think it's pretty decent. Tyson Alexander is a University of Florida product, by the way, so not a terrible choice this week. Adding Glover to this one. So Fitzpatrick is just showing up a ton with Brian Harmon. So it looks like that duo of 10 and 9, pretty decent at least. I mean, it's been showing up a bunch when we're building lineups. Fitzpatrick, Griffin, Taylor Moore, Steven Yeager. Okay, that's a pretty good lineup. Pretty balanced, by the way. Not terrible. I like this lineup too. Denny McCarthy, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Steven Yeager, and SH Kim. I like that lineup a lot. Could be a good like cash game lineup or a good league lineup. Not terrible. Okay. So let's go to our Burnsy and Keegan Bradley lineups. Too bad Ricky and Minwoo aren't in this field. You would be correct. That would be an all mustache lineup. All right, Mr. Shot Like Harden. Sam Burns, Keegan Bradley, Ben Griffin, Akshay Bhatia, Trey Mullinax, and Matthew Neesmith. Now, of course, this is going to show up with Akshay and Ben Griffin because of how incredible their values are. Do you want me to exclude any of those guys out? Or do you want me to include Akshay or Ben Griffin? It's the first one, man. You can't say it's the first one is sexy. Come on. Do you? I mean, Ben Griffin, I think is a good choice. I know you top 20'd Akshay. Okay, how about this? Let me see. When it comes to Mullinax and Neesmith, I think they're both like coin tosses. I have no idea who I like more than the other, but well, there you go, Shot Like Harden. You got your lineup. If you wanted a little bit more ballsy of a lineup, Tommy Fleetwood you add in there with Akshay, SH Kim, and Tyson. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. Alex asked, does this course match up well for Pearson Cootie? I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you. I think Pearson Cootie is a good talent, so I think this could be a course that he plays pretty decent at. Sam Burns, Bradley, Ben Griffin, Akshay Bhatia, SH Kim, and David Lipsky. Not terrible. I don't mind playing like a David Lipsky this week, by the way. That's dangerous. 7K golfer as your highest owned golfer. That's dangerous. First time seeing JT posted in these lineups. So I don't want to exclude SH Kim. I think he's a good play. Unless you want me to, I certainly can. But let's get rid of Johnny Vegas since we already know about his injury issue. And that is something that would concern me for sure. And we will rerun this. This is a dangerous lineup. Luke List to go with SH Kim, Akshay Bhatia. Well, if you needed a core 4, I have your core 4. Burns, Bradley, Griffin, Bhatia. Yeah, I mean, how about this? I'm going to change it up. And let's say Ben Griffin is going to be the darling that just screws everyone this week. See what happens. And now we include another 9K golfer in Brian Harmon. Eric Cole and Justin. Yeah, so I don't mind this lineup. I think this lineup is pretty good. Sam Burns, Keegan Bradley, Brian Harmon, Akshay Bhatia, SH Kim, and Lucas Glover. All right, so I'm going to do what you probably don't want me to do, and I'm actually going to remove Akshay, just to give you a little bit of different. I definitely have Luke on the list. Which list? The list? Chris Jericho's The List? You made the list. Is that the guy? Sam Burns, Keegan Bradley, Ben Griffin, Joel Damon, Trey Mullinax, and SH Kim. How do you like that one, Shot Like Harden? I think it's like on the sexy grade, it's like a B. B tier. Don't really care for that one. Here we go. Here's another good one that I like. Burnsy, Bradley, Griffin, Shelton, Smalley, SH Kim. Probably giving way too much love to SH Kim. I probably should have nixed him a while ago. Let's go do that right now. Mid. I agree. Based. Who's based? Burns, Bradley, Griffin, Shelton, Taylor, and Stuart Sink. I don't mind that. Like Stuart Sink, I don't mind at this course. Doesn't seem like a good course fit, but I think Sink can play anywhere. And he's not going to screw us by hitting the ball in every pond that he possibly can. This isn't terrible. Jaeger bombs. There we go. We got some Jaeger bombs. Shelton, Streelman. I like Streelman at this course. Probably stay away from Fratelli. I feel like we could have had a better joke with that one. Unexpected Tingle. I mean, that had some potential. That one had potential. I think if you were to include like a stranger, you know, like you use that joke and like if he wasn't such a stranger, I think I would probably laugh at that one. Well, I mean, like shot like Harden, it is the Valspar Championship. You know, if those 4 golfers, you know, all finish, I mean, well, at least 2 of them, your main guys, obviously, inside the top 10, and say like Akshay finishes top 20, like you have him as a bet, and Ben Griffin finishes top 10 as well. So like 3 guys top 10, or maybe Griffin's like 12th or whatever. And you got yourself a setup for a pretty decent you had a pretty decent chance to either hit the optimal or win a GPP. See, Edward, I was gonna use the Amanda Hug and Kiss one, but this is the PGA Tour. We gotta find man names, male names, I should say. The lineup on the screen, by the way, shot like Harden, the one that's been sitting here for a while that I hadn't gone over, pretty decent. It's like B plus A minus territory. Burns, Bradley, Griffin, Gordon, Ben Martin, and Adam Schenk. I'm just gonna save it because it's unique. Unique New York. Here's one golfer that I probably won't play this week, and that's Nick Hardy. Nick Hardy is a University of Illinois product. I don't think I really trust Midwest people down in the Southeast. I think he has all the potential in the world. I don't know. I guess I gotta look more at Hardy. Why is he sucked so much? Nick Hardy, miscut at the Players Championship, miscut at the API, miscut. See what I'm saying? All of these Southeast courses, TPC. Okay, this song. Okay, that is stupid. Nick Hardy, again, like I was just talking about, TPC API. Honda Classic, all missed cuts. Now Genesis is a hard course, so I would have imagined he would have done well here, but not so much. And then Pebble and Farmers, he finished 40th at those courses together. So he has more to like. This is a week where I'm just like, no Nick Hardy for me. $7,100 seems like a good price tag for him, but I don't think I can get there. Alex says Hoagie grew up in Fargo and took 3rd last week. I think he has a home in Florida though. I knew he grew up in Fargo. But he's old enough. He's played other courses long enough. Actually, what information do we? Oh, I don't have Hoagie here. That's right. I was going to look up Tom Hoagie stats, but I don't have that here. Tom Hoagie 6'1", by the way. Interesting. Tom Hoagie also went to TCU, so Texas golf course. He learned how to play on Bermuda there. He actually lives in, oh, you know, he was born in, never mind. Give me your bio, sir. Oh, he does say he's still okay. Resident still says Fargo, plays from Fargo. I just imagine he had a house somewhere else. I swear I remember hearing that somewhere. But hey, I'm wrong. So yeah, you do have a point there for sure. And I'm not saying all Midwest golfers are bad, but definitely a 20, you know, young 20-some-year-old. I'm sure with this college golf, he's played all around the states at, you know, times where there's Bermuda and stuff like that. I'm just gonna wait. It's a more of a wait and see approach with me.
Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a big
Barry is also a DJ.
An antique.
Barry R? Is that who we're talking about?
When you're making an album, it's an intimate thing.
Where? I want to know. Tell me. Tell me where Barry does all of his DJing. What kind of product do you put in your hair? It's all that. I just wake up and this is what it looks like. I don't know what you're talking about. Tom leads the tour in hoagies on par 3s and 4s. Who is your favorite 6K golfer? There were some that were popping up not too long ago, like in the lineups that I didn't mind. Carson Young, by the way, not going to show up a bunch, but he's always on top of the leaderboard on one of the days. So I don't mind like a Carson Young. Probably won't get theirs. Like I like Kevin Streelman this week for 6K golfers. Troy Merritt, I don't mind going to. He's 39th in my model. I don't mind playing Troy Merritt this week. Smotherman I like a lot, by the way. So Smotherman's, I'll add him to the list. Wow. I think that's probably it. Honestly. Is this just Smotherman for me? The 6K range? Another Lauer was one that I didn't mind. Oh yeah. So my favorite 6K golfer, I guess, is probably Austin Smotherman. Otherwise, golfers that I will play in the 6K range, just to throw those out there. So yeah, Smotherman, Streelman, Glover, Merritt, Dylan Wu, Carson Young, Charlie Hoffman, Patton Kizzire, Chesson Hadley. I guess Peter Malnati, can't really completely fade him. Augusto Nunez, I like him. Justin Lauer. I know Vanderlaan's getting a lot of pump up. That's fine. Sure, I'll play 2% of him. I kind of want to play Cole Hammer. Kind of. I know we had Kevin Roy brought up, but that's a wait and see approach for me. Same goes with Austin Eckroat. I know he's a talented golfer, but just hasn't really been showing anything lately. Do like Carl Yuan. I want Doc Redman to do well. This is a Southeast course. He grew up in the Southeast, went to college in the Southeast. I think Doc Redman would be a sneaky play. So I guess if I'm trying to like, nah, he's not like a Min Woo sneaky play or a Cam Davis sneaky play like from last week. I think that's whatever. I said I don't mind playing Robert Streb already. Tyson Alexander, we were kind of already talking about. I don't mind playing someone like him. Yeah, not a really good 6K range this week, by the way. Here's one thing you could do on the cheat sheet, by the way. So if you're following along with the cheat sheet, you can go filter by condition on the salaries and go less than or equal to 6,900. So now we're just looking at the 6K range, and then you can do all your sorting from here. So I think what I would rather do is just like, who are my golfers that have some of the best top 10 Bermuda success rates, and maybe just go from there. This is probably going to ignore a lot of the younger golfers, a lot of the newer golfers, I should say. But this will give you some kind of, it's not terrible. Like, this will give you some kind of leverage, to be honest. So I would look at this as well as their overall Bermuda. So like Zach Johnson shows up, which is interesting. Probably wouldn't even thought much about Zach Johnson. I don't mind playing Zach Johnson. Probably not. I don't really care about Jimmy Walker. Luke Donald, sure. I could play Luke Donald. That's fine. And like I said, Charlie Hoffman was a golfer that I don't mind playing. Tyson Alexander. Only 8 events so far on Bermuda courses. I don't mind that though. Same goes with Eric Barnes. And I did say Cole Hammer. We talked about Kevin Streelman. I talked about Lucas Glover. That didn't work out. Oh, JB Holmes is in this field. That's crazy. Troy Merritt we talked about. Doc Redman. So like all the names I already brought up. I didn't even look at the Bermuda stats to talk about these guys. But yeah, anyone that's over like 2% in this column here, I think is fine by me. Just qualify. Yeah, I guess. Well, here's some interesting names down here that I think I probably would play 0 of. Like Michael Kim. Terrible on Bermuda, over 64 events. Harry Higgs, 26 events, very bad on Bermuda. That's interesting. My boy Austin Smotherman's down here, so I guess maybe I retract Smotherman. I'm cool with that. I can retract Smotherman. 1 event, 25th place. Sure. Augusto Nunez. See, now he's from Argentina. I'd imagine, well, that's probably past Palmgrass down there, if I think about it. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I guess there's some names here to consider or to not consider. Zach Johnson. All right, interesting. Of course, if you put any filter on, just go back into that filter and remove it. That way you don't forget about it, and that way you can look at the rest of the golfers. Ryan Gerard, by the way, a 1 event 4th place finish. That was the Honda Classic. Probably stay away from that. JT is your best Bermuda golfer. Again, this is overseed, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Let's see, catching up with chat. Who is, yep. Like Goya and Nunez a little bit. Okay. Both Argentinians, right? Both PM too. Perfect. It feels like forever that Doc was good. By the way, oh no. I'm looking at the wrong person. Forever that Doc. Yeah, Doc Redman. Can't remember what tournament I just played him in, but he actually had a decent, I think he was decent through round 3 and then just fell off. So anyways, going back to lineup building. Here we go. Carl Yuan was a guy I was just talking about. And JT Poston, I don't really care for. The rest of the guys are pretty decent. How about this? Let's all build a lineup. 6 viewers, I think I have in here. Of the people that are still in here, Give me your top 3 golfers that you want to build your lineups around. So, Shalik Harden, you're telling me Doc Redman is a lesser version of Keegan Bradley? Seems about right. Pretty good lineup. I like Lee. I really like Lee Hodges this week, by the way. So maybe that's my Minwoo, but it really isn't. My thought about Minwoo last week had to do with more of being overlooked. I have no idea if who's being overlooked. In what, this range? I mean, who declared the 7,400 to 7,500 range to be in the optimal last week? Was that Barry? Did Barry just come in and then leave? I would say Ben Martin would be my choice. If we're going like the same price tag of guys being overlooked, I bet it's Ben Martin. If all things stay the same from last week to this week, which obviously those things are impossible, it's probably him. Okay. Poor man's Keegan. That's right. Doc Redman, poor man's Keegan. Cody Gribble. Cody Gribble hasn't been relevant for the long time. Burns, Bradley, Wu, Griffin, Shelton, and McGreevy. I don't mind playing Max McGreevy. Used to be good. Ooh, a golf commercial. Love these commercials. Last week, the week before, no commercials, and now it's just nonstop. Come on. Okay. I'm gonna build 3 more lineups. Edward Gale, are you looking to build lineups around those guys? Or are you just saying those are your favorite golf? I think you are telling me to build lineups around those guys, right? Okay. Okay. Cam Champ shows up on this one with Jaeger bombs. Okay, okay, okay. Edward Gale, let's see. I'll find it. Let's see. Lingmirth? Lingmirth? Cole? Which Cole? Are we talking about Eric Cole? Are we talking about Cole Hammer? I already forgot that's what I asked. That's how bad my short-term memory is. The community build. I got you. I got you. I got you. Holy moly. I swear to God, my short-term memory is the worst. Akshay, Benny, and Griffin, and Lingmirth, Cole, Shelton. Unexpected Tingle with his odd selection. Perfect. I'm glad that I at least asked that question. Which Cole are you talking about? Okay, so I imagine that's the only people participating in the chat right now, which is fine. Akshay, Benny, and Griffin, I like. Lingmirth, Cole, and Shelton, that's interesting. Lingmirth, Cole, and Shelton. All right, this is what we're gonna do. So I gotta remember that Eckroat, Reevy, and Nate Lashley. All right, all right, all right, all right. You guys are nuts. Zach Johnson in Group 9, by the way. Right. So sometimes what I like to do is if I have like price tags that are very similar, then and they aren't in a marquee tee time, I'll remove the last one and basically add all these golfers in. So Akshay is not in a optimal lineup, or not a marquee lineup. So Akshay, Benny, and Griffin. So I think Ben Griffin is, though, which is fine. Yep. So we want Lingmerth, Colin, Shelton. Oh, I already put him at 9. Okay. I think I need to get to Lingmerth. I'm going to give him a little boost in points, by the way. So I don't think he shows up if we don't. Sure, let's do that. Ekrot, Reevy, Nate Lashley. Just really digging at the bottom. Hey, good night. All right, you are a bunch of sickos. That's all I gotta say. So group 9 has a ton of golfers in there. Let's go with at least 3. And let's do a max of 4. We're gonna have to find some 10K golfers to match with these guys and just higher price guys. So let's see. That we just break it, right? Oh, you know what? I gotta go back down here and change this up from 4 to 6. Without that, though, our first lineup was Denny McCarthy, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Benny Ann, Akshay Bhatia, and Robbie Shelton. That makes sense. That seems pretty doable. Ooh, I almost thought it was going to be a Keegan lineup here. There we go. We have Charlie Carden, Sam Burns, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Akshay Bhatia, Robbie Shelton, and David Lingmerth. Okay, all right. Lingmerth will get the axe. And now we bring in Fitzpatrick, Harmon, KH Lee, Benny Ann, Akshay Bhatia, and Robbie Shelton. That's pretty good. Shelton gets the axe here. Ooh. Justin Thomas, Ben Griffin, KH Lee, Nate Lashley, Akshay Bhatia, and Eric Cole. This one I'm going to keep. I'm going to throw that one right here. JT, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Akshay Bhatia, Eric Cole, and Ches Reevy. That's pretty... It's another gross lineup. But you know what? We're going to keep it. How you guys liking these lineups so far? Fitzpatrick, Harmon, KH Lee, Benny Ann, Akshay Bhatia, and Eric Cole. I'm going to remove Cole. And, oh, I suppose we have Benny Ann as a player we're trying to select. I was just going to, oh, KH Lee is who I want to cross out. Not that I don't mind the Korean Cowboy, but just not going to do it. Okay, so we replace, okay, so Unexpected Tingle, who just coming in here trolling. He did say JT Poston, so I guess this includes his guy. I think we probably have to, you know, play this, right? Despite his best efforts to bomb the lineups, I think it's actually pretty decent. Eric Cole will get the axe. Okay. Fitzpatrick, Harmon, Riley, Benny Ann, Akshay, and Austin Eckroat. You know what's funny about this exercise is like, I'm expecting you guys to give me normal golfers and you give me some of these random goons. And it's like, you know what? These lineups aren't so bad. Like, pretty random, honestly. And then we break it. We break it because you guys don't know how to select golfers. I'm blaming you, each and every one of you. I can't believe can't build lineups anymore because they're just all awful. Just kidding. It's probably not your fault. It's probably my fault. Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, Akshay Bhatia. We have those three guys once again. Those are all Shot Like Harden's golfers. SH Kim. So who do we have to remove? So we can get Nate Lashley, or no, KH Lee, stay there. Lashley, Shelton, Cole, Lingmerth, Reevy, Broad. Okay. So what did we say? We have a bunch of JT lineups, and then we also have a Fitzpatrick lineup. Shot Like Harden, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna remove Akshay from here because he's the only one that wasn't removed in the other ones. And we're gonna see what happens. I also need to change something else. Oh, we did? Nope. On at least 3. Let me go ahead and bring back Lingmerth. JT Harmon, Ben Griffin, Benny Ann, David Lingmerth, and Ches Reevy. Did we already do that one? No, we couldn't have, right? Because we had Akshay in one of them? Yeah. So it's basically that lineup, but instead of Akshay being in there, we had Lingmerth, right? Ooh, Keegan Bradley, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Benny Ann, Robbie Shelton, David Lingmerth. Yeah, that's fine too. We have any other lineup combinations you'd like to see built? Fitzpatrick, Griffin, JT, Poston, that is. Benny Ann, Nate Lashley, and Robbie Shelton. That's not terrible either. I think we're going to get away from this. We're going to go away from this exercise. Those weren't terrible lineups. I didn't mind them at all. T-Dunks was in one lineup, by the way. I don't remember where it was, but his name definitely came up. I don't think I said anything about the lineup itself, but it did show up once. Shot Like Harden. I think what happened when I did that though is I didn't include Will Gordon in the in group 9. So I think what ended up happening was it had to select a 10K golfer and a 9K golfer because we had just nothing but low price guys. So it was never gonna, when it went from Akshay, it was gonna choose the next golfer in that group 9 that we had. And that was like a 7,300 or a 7,400, so it wasn't gonna go with Will Gordon. Rose and Lingmerth. Okay. I know you're $7,300. Where are you? Here's T-Dunks, by the way. There he is. I found him. So what I did was, what looks weird is I've got it sorted by salaries down to a certain salary. So basically it was until I saw the first 6K golfer. From here down, it's all sorted by the metric. So that's why like the prices are a little weird. But from here up, wherever that 6K golfer is, it's all sorted by salaries. Kind of wanted to see what the optimizer would do with that. Okay, so if we do our very first Rose lineup, 3 9K golfers: Justin Rose, Brian Harmon, Davis Riley, Akshay Bhatia, Will Gordon, and David Lingmerth. If I include the salary structure that we had before, we want a 10 and a 9K golfer.
I became envious. In the late 1970s, Exxon Science.
Burns, Rose, KH Lee, Will Gordon, SH Kim, and David Lingmerth. I like that lineup a lot. There was something I mentioned in the preview video yesterday that I called, or I didn't call any of you guys out individually, but I was like, hey, remind me of something. I imagine it has something to do with, there were a couple buckets that had like minimums of 1 that I said we want at least 1 from, but then they were in certain buckets that are like, yeah, it's probably going to be difficult to do. Because there was a couple 10K golfers together. Do you remember what those buckets were for those that watched? I imagine maybe it was last. No, I don't think it was last year once. I think it was all in the course history buckets, right? Or maybe the recent form bucket. Yeah, okay. Recent form 2 and recent form 3, I imagine. Two 10K golfers here with some 9 and 8K golfers, and then yeah, okay. So I think from these buckets, what I need to do is tone it down. Recent form 2 and 3. Maybe I just go and recent form 4. What? How? What? Probably leave that at 1. That's fine. We could leave that at 1. I think what I want to do with these, I just make it 0 and 0, honestly. Okay. Alex McCullough, what if you add Sud to that? I think it might break with 3 top 20s from last week. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Sammy Burns, Justin Rose, KH Lee, Will Gordon, and SH Kim to go with David Lingmerth. But I will add Justin Suh for you. Or Justin Sue. You called it. It broked. It done braked. Because, yeah, I did include 3 top 20s. It done braked. Remove the Korean cowboy. Sammy Burns, Justin Rose, Taylor Moore. Forgot who asked for Taylor Moore lineups, but here we go. This is natural. We didn't have to force them in. Will Gordon, SH Kim, and David Lingmerth. Let's remove SH Kim. And we bring in Akshay. Sam Burns, Rose, Taylor Moore, Akshay Bhatia, Grayson Sig, and David Lingmerth. Not a terrible lineup. A lot of lineups built tonight did not include Justin Thomas, and I think it's because of his price tag, but I think that's okay to build around. I like this lineup a lot. Burns, Rose, Riley. Yeah, I like that lineup a lot. Good luck, Shot Like Harden. Glover included with Patrick Rogers in this lineup. Okay. Alex, do you want to see a Justin Sue? I should actually look at the wonderful thing about the interwebs. We can see what this, how do you pronounce his name? It says S-U-H. Suh. I'm sure it's Suh. Justin Suh. If it was Sue, it would be S-O-O. I'm pretty sure they would show it as S-O-O. 25 years old. 165 pounds. 5'9". University of Southern California. And lives in Vegas. I'm going to say no to Justin Suh. I wouldn't leave a lot of money on the table, honestly. I'm not going to leave more than, I suppose, set this back to 49,000. No more than 1,000. That's a great lineup. Let's see. Let's do I'm just gonna add Tyler Duncan as a Y and see who he gets matched up with. I'd said I found where he was and then I forgot. There we go. JT, Brian Harmon, Ben Griffin, Ben Taylor, Patrick Rogers, and Tyler Duncan. It's not terrible. Patrick Rogers is getting selected a bunch. I don't mind playing Patrick Rogers this week, by the way. It's Patrick, Harmon, Griffin, KH Lee, Ben Taylor, and Tyler Duncan. KH Lee is just being grabbed a ton. I don't mind this lineup. It's Patrick, Harmon, Griffin, Akshay, Smalley, and Duncan. Pretty decent. What if I add JT to the mix? Force Justin Thomas in this. Few things change. Grayson Sig gets added. Pretty much the same though. What if I say no to Brian Harmon? Leetwood. Okay. Tyson Alexander. Still a better value than Tyler Duncan. Okay. Okay. It's not a terrible lineup, by the way. I will exclude Alexander and build a new one. Any other combos? Might have an early stream tonight.
Just write down Reese's.
Here's another good lineup. Like that one a lot.
Kind of done for the day.
Interesting. Nothing? Give like 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds. And it's fine. We can call it an early night. Yes, Alex. Especially, I think, you know, when you contact me and we have these conversations about maybe the optimizer not running that great, I think having these to zeros is perfect. I think the ones that I was talking about were recent form 2 and recent form 3, because of how many golfers, like good golfers, were in those buckets, and the likelihood that one golfer from here and perhaps one golfer, like one 10K golfer from here finishing inside the top 10 might cancel each other out, and one of the buckets might actually only have one golfer from it finish inside the top 10, fulfilling the projection, so making that bucket succeed. But you wouldn't want to play that guy because you wouldn't be able to get to the optimal lineup or GPP winning lineup. So I think it was recent form 2 and recent form 3. I'll rewatch the preview video, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I think that's what I need to start looking at in the future, is using this information right here a little bit more. So like if I were to look at just the last year buckets and do a breakdown, you can see 7 9K and above golfers are in last year 1. That's not really going to interfere with the rest of the buckets because none of them are at, you know, 1 or greater, except for that last year 6 bucket, which there are 2 9K and above golfers. I still don't think that interferes with this bucket. So I think you just leave that one alone. And then I think we can go down here and pretty much do the same thing. As you can see, like last year 2 has 2 golfers 9K and above, but this says 0 to 2. The projection's 0 to 2. I'm just looking at projections 1 or greater. The last year or last week 5s, that 2 to 4, there are 3 of them in there. One bucket that's really interesting is last week 1s. There's 5 golfers 9K and above in that. So maybe the last, but this would be 0 to 2. So my last week 1s are 0 to 2. So there's nothing that really conflicts down here with that. This one, course history 1, would be 0 to 2. There are 3 10K golfers and above there for course history 1 golfers. Course history 2 golfers, there are 3 9K and above, but our projection 0 to 2. So we really don't have to worry about that. But anytime that this has 1, so like recent, the perfect example is right here. So like recent form 2, 1 to 3, there are 3 9K and above golfers. Recent form 3, there are 2 to 4 or like projections 2 to 4. There are 6 9K and above. And then recent form 4, there's 1 to 3, and there are 2 9K and above golfers. Each of these buckets can be satisfied with a high price golfer in it, and you wouldn't be able to play them together. And you might screw yourself on the optimizer if you have this set to 1, because despite one of the buckets actually being succeeded by a golfer finishing inside the top 10 that fits in that bucket, you might not be able to play that guy, but you're going to be forcing the optimizer to select somebody else, and maybe one guy is the only person that finishes inside the top 10. So I need to watch out when I do that kind of stuff. I asked about changing the last week mins to 3 and locking Rose, Lingmerth, and Sue. Or Suh. Oh, I didn't see you wanted me to change last week 3s. I thought you said it might break because the last week 3s are there. I certainly can do that. That's fine. Don't like this lineup at all. Lipsky, Sig, Ling. Actually, you know what? It's not terrible. First gut though. Ugh. Hey man, I was talking about Smotherman earlier. I like this. Burns, Rose, Suh, Kim, Lingmerth, Smotherman. I think that's fine. Ooh, adding Trevor Cohn. A low 6K golfer? I don't mind that. Trevor Cohn's not a terrible player. Okay. I like something like this too. Burns, Rose, Suh, Patrick Rogers, Kevin Streelman. I like Kevin Streelman this week, and David Lingmark. Hey, good night, Edward. Thanks for stopping by. Burns, Rose, Suh, Rogers, Yuan. Let's get rid of Rogers. I do like Carl Yuan, by the way. Ryan Armour. I don't mind this lineup. Honestly, Sam Burns, Justin Rose, Justin Suh, Alex Smalley, David Lingmerth, and Ryan Armour. I don't mind that at all. Let me remove the 10K because I'm forcing it to choose a 10K golfer. Maybe I'll do something else. Try fading Burns and Rogers. Okay. Here we go. Rose, Harmon, Suh, KH Lee, David Lipsky, and Lingmerth. 1. Rose, Riley, Suh, KH Lee, Mullinax. I'm gonna get rid of KH Lee. Interesting. Rose, Riley, Suh, Taylor, Bramlett, Lingmerth. Not my favorite, but unique. That's important. Rose, Harmon, Suh, Damon, SH Kim, and David Lingmerth. There we go. That's a good lineup. It's a solid one. Let's remove SH Kim. I'll build a few more. Rose, Harmon, Suh, Vegas. We just heard Vegas might have an injury that we probably want to stay away from, so let me go ahead and remove him. But I do like Alex Smalley. Rose, Harmon, Suh, Damon, Mullinax, and Lingmerth. Not terrible. Here's an interesting one. Rose, Harmon, Suh, Batia, Webb Simpson, and David Lingmerth. Okay. Rose, Harmon, Suh, Damon, Neesmith, Lingmerth. Probably gonna be my last one with that combo. You got another one? Let me know. Trying to figure out who my favorite plays are this week. I think the combo starting with Thomas seems pretty decent. And I don't mind someone like Davis. I wonder how many Thomas Fleetwood lineups can do that would be decent. I feel like that's just probably a combo that's really difficult to get to. Of course, Tyson Alexander gets brought into the mix. That's fine. I suppose I can open this up to 2 6K golfers. I forgot that. Forgot about that. JT, Fleetwood, Griffin, Batia, same thing. Okay. Sig isn't like my first choice in the 7K range like that. Not too. Way too many Korean cowboy lineups, honestly.
Want to listen ad-free, download music offline, and keep songs playing in the background?
I could do with this. I could deal with this, but I don't know about Patrick Rogers. $7,100 is a pretty good price tag for him, though, if I'm being honest. I could do something. I could do this lineup here. I don't know who else I mean, never mind. trying to, like, from tonight, we didn't see a lot of Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood lineups. We really didn't see a lot of Justin Thomas 9K lineups. I don't mind Brian Harmon, but I don't know. I kind of want to find a PM golfer. Like, I kind of want to mix and match my AM and PMs. I almost want to start with a PM golfer. Like Fitzpatrick. Harmon? I don't know. No, Hickok is like kind of one of the lower values I think that I have. So his metric is at 740 points. So he, you know, at $7,200, there aren't many golfers around him in the 7K range that are being used. You know, like, kind of scroll up, and this is where most of the 7K golfers are being selected from. And of course, this just goes by the SweetSpot score. So if you want to see more Hickok on your optimizer, I don't know if you've done this in the past, if you've learned to do this, you can change this metric. So like we can change this to 840 and I could run optimizer again. And I'm sure Hickok will show up now. I don't know how many times it'll take to get to him, but 840, it's a pretty low. I think the way we probably get to Hickok is if we make sure we select a 10K golfer. Might take us a few times, but 840 should show up eventually. I guess not. There we go. Our first, it took what, 5 lineups to build before Kramer Hickok shows up after we changed the metric. So you can change the metric, by the way. Ramey, I don't mind Chad Ramey in general, but I think there was a moment sometime either earlier this year or last year sometime where Chad Ramey had a really good week. What, he won the Corrales Punta Cana or something like that. I can't remember which alternate event he was in, but he what ended up happening that next week or the next few weeks, maybe it was like the Rocket Mortgage or something like that, it seemed like he was going to be a good play for that tournament. And he just fell off the edge of the world. I'm not positive what type of golf. I mean, Ramey, I think what I've heard on the broadcast, he's known for his iron play. I don't know what his stats are off the top of my head. Not really a huge, I guess, stats guy when it comes to strokes gain stats. I understand their purpose, their utility. Yeah, so Ramey's 120th in my model. 7,000. So yeah, he'll most likely never be played. He is one of the worst ranked golfers. Why? Not super good on Bermuda, although this is overseeded. Bad course history. Yep, had a really good week last week. Over the last 7 weeks, when it comes to just the stroke gain stats, not super great. A lot of red. Season long, off the tee's negative, approach is negative. And I shouldn't even say season long, that's calendar year. So 27th at the Players, a few missed cuts, 70th place at Pebble. Yeah, I'm just.
Music app has playlists for every mood. Like if you're in the mood to get your squat on. Give YouTube Music
If I'm gonna play Chad Ramey, it's gonna be probably 6% or less in my lineups. I think that's fine. Okay. I think what I want to do, I want to see Will Gordon. By Lee Hodges lineup, right? Both PM golfers? No, 1 a.m., 1 p.m. Probably gonna cap this at 3. All right. I'll do one more lineup, so if you got a combination, go for it. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it a night. Akshay Bhatia. Too much Akshay. Here we go. Fitzpatrick, Harmon, Griffin, Young Hanan, Will Gordon, Lee Hodges. I like that lineup. Like it a lot. I'm gonna say no to Brian Harmon. Make it select someone else. Oh my god. I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Good question, Alex. Any last thoughts on some pairings you've been seeing tonight that you might have changed your mind on some individual golfers? Well, considering like the last half there, I had the wrong min maxes down here. What I've just seen in the last probably half hour, probably not the greatest thought. I will say, kind of like I was mentioning before, not a lot of Justin Thomas lineups, which is interesting. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact of his price tag versus his metric. So it would appear that it's just not super beneficial to play Justin Thomas. Ben Griffin has been showing up a ton. Akshay Bhatia has been showing up a ton, but that's because of their metrics in my model. Not a lot of Maverick McNeely love, and that's fine. I guess KH Lee shows up a ton. He's been showing up a bunch, and that's not even with like an inflated anything of his. I kind of want to do one thing for you. Let me build some other lineups using Rose Lingmerth and Suh. Only because I had the wrong thing locked in. We'll probably see some of the same lineups, but I'm sure we'll see a bunch of different ones now. So this one is very similar to your other, like the other one. We had Lipsky and someone else, but this one brought in Troy Merritt this time.
Comfort. It all starts with Snuggle.
Yeah, okay, so we're kind of seeing the same lineups when we lock those guys in. So I guess to follow up on your question, I don't know, it's pretty watered down, honestly. Like a lot of the players are showing up once here and there, and it's like, oh, that's a pretty good lineup. That's a pretty good lineup. some of the lineups that we created are the ones that you see on the screen. A lot of them include Ben Griffin, Brian Harmon. Again, this price tag seems pretty decent. A lot of these people, or some of these golfers were locked in, but I don't think Brian Harmon was ever asked to be like locked in. Ben Taylor showed up a ton. SH Kim showed up a bunch. I didn't mind that. I think SH Kim is actually a decent play this week. So yeah, lots of interesting plays. I think the optimizer will probably get you on some golfers that you might not necessarily have thought about previously, that I think are pretty decent, decent values and decent plays. Yeah, so I think we've seen these lineups already. Okay, cool. All right, man. I think I'm going to call it a night, though. If you had any other questions or anything else, I'll answer them, but I don't think I'm going to build any more lineups. $7,600 Brian Harmon. Yeah, low 6K golfer. Do you think Burns has turned a corner in his performance? Yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier. As long as it's not an illness, you know, like a autoimmune disease or anything that is chronic or anything like that, I think any of these golfers, especially someone of like Sam Burns' caliber, can come back like to his original self. So I don't know what ailed him to begin with. Some people say it was injury. Some people say it was new clubs. If he's, you know, even if both of those things were true, last week's performance should give you a little bit more confidence to play someone like Sam Burns. The Players Championship is a hard golf course, or it's a hard tournament, and he played pretty well. So I think going back to Sam Burns, or wait, yeah, 35th place. Okay, I think that's fine. Honestly, I would have thought he topped 20 last week from what I remember, but I guess 2022, what was he coming in with? A 26th place finish at Players, 9th place finish at API, 3 missed cuts. So he must just, I think people have been talking about this. He just gets hot at this time of the year. His time to like turn it on. $2021. This was at the end of April, I think. Was this our super season? I think it was. What did he have the year before? Nothing. He had played here another time. Oh, maybe it was 2019. 2018? Why did I move this all the way?
This is Merrick. This is your dog living their best life with real deboned meats.
Trying to find out. Oh, he must have played a couple times. I'm trying to find
our recipe.
to be 21. There he is. 12th. So you'd be down here somewhere, 30th. Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty natural or pretty common with him to like turn it around at this time of the year. What's going on, Jeffrey? How are you doing tonight? What have you seen historically with golfers' performance at the Players compared to this course? Or is that all built in the last week bucket? That's all built in the last week bucket. That's also all built into the recent form buckets as well. So just taking a look with the last week buckets. Obviously these numbers change from year to year. So like I always look to see how many golfers are in each one of these buckets comparatively to what we see on average per year. So like one of our big buckets that a big change would be missed cuts from the week before. Normally golfers who miss the cut at the Players Championship or the week before, not all the time has it been the Players Championship, I don't think. Yeah, so 2021 was the Zurich. Players Championship was played much earlier that year. Last year we obviously had the Players Championship. 2018 we had the Mexico Championship. So it's really hard because there was a time where the Players Championship was after the Valspar. So really we just have 1 year's worth of data to use the Players Championship as an indicator of last week. I don't remember what tournament usually follows the Players Championship, so I couldn't give you what other tournaments look like. They had the Players Championship that preceded it, but yeah. So we just have the 1 year, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice, you know, if someone had a website up and running where you could kind of look to see what followed the Players Championship and how people have performed at that event, but I do not, unfortunately. Not yet, at least. Barry, what's going on, man? Sorry I missed most of the live chat this week. Let's break 6+. Oh god, no. No. I'm calling her quits pretty soon. I'm getting pretty tired. So I will, if you want me to build a couple more lineups, I certainly will. It's always nice seeing more people come in, but I'm going to do a hard cap. I have a max of 17 minutes left. Actually, a max of 12 minutes left. I'm gonna call her quits right at 11. So, you got some lineup ideas to mess around with? I certainly will build lineups, but yeah. We're not gonna pull an all-nighter here, Barry. You got any 6K whispers this week?
At Amica, we provide something more than insurance for auto. Home.
Fitzpatrick is just showing up a ton. Ryan Moore. Really? Crazy, man. Crazy talk. It's not terrible. I guess I don't mind it, honestly. Let's see what a Ryan Moore lineup looks like. Here we go. JT, Tommy Fleetwood. Ooh, I like this lineup a lot. I don't know why I save these lineups. I rarely ever remember to put these in. I probably will this week, actually. Burns, Nick Taylor, and Ryan Moore. You got it. Interesting. Okay. Trying to find where Ryan Moore is on my list. That I'd see him at the bottom. There he is. Okay. All right. It's not a bad 6K value. Nick Taylor. Cameron Percy. Interesting. All right, Barry, here you go. Your first lineup. Burnsy, Harmon, Wyndham Clark, Nick Taylor, Akshay Bhatia, and Ryan Moore. I will tell you one thing, Akshay will continue to show up. So if you like that, I can keep Akshay in there, but I'm just going to remove him for now. Let me know if you want me to put him back in. That's a pretty solid lineup, by the way. 10-9-8-7-7-6. Burnsy, Fleetwood, KH Lee. KH Lee is also going to show up a ton. Nick Taylor and David Lipsky. I'm going to remove Lipsky. Burns, Harmon, Riley. 2 9Ks. Nick Taylor, Luke List, and Ryan Moore. That's a solid lineup. Ooh, you'll like this lineup when you get back. Or when it gets to you, I should say. Pretty solid. I'm gonna actually remove Harmon. Rosie, you are a crazy man.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you.
Oh dear lord.
Plus, if rates drop,
Stars and scrubs. We broked it. It done broked. Why would it have broken? Golfer from group 1, group 2, AM, PM, AM. Huh. Not sure why it broke. Probably the price. Maybe, well, no. I don't think that'll matter, but let's check. Still broke it. Different reason. Huh. Not sure. It's not the AM PM wave. It's not the marquee tee times. 10 and 9K doesn't matter. We already have a 7K, so that doesn't matter. Not the marquee tee times. It's got to be here somewhere in the buckets. One there, stroke stand 3 maybe? Do we not have a stroke stand 3 golfer? Is that why? Okay, maybe that's why. Nope. That was not why. Too many reasons why this fails and why it's not a good lineup. Just kidding. I don't know why. Double check. We hit a max somewhere. That's why. Where's our max? Master threes, maybe? Nope. It's the strokes gain buckets. Strokes gain 4. Strokes gain 4. Strokes gain 4. That's what it is. So I have a max for strokes gain 4 at 2. And we're selecting at least 3 right now. So I guess let me open that up and here you go. This should work. Yes, we did, Barry. We did talk about the PMAM. So here you go. It was your strokes gain 4 bucket that broke. That didn't allow all this stuff. Here's a lineup for you. Burns, Rose, Griffin, Nick Taylor, Ben Taylor. Get all the Taylors in there. Let's see if I put the minimums back in. What does that do? We still break it? Or do we actually get it still? There you go. This one follows the buckets to the full completion. So solid lineup, by the way. Burns, Rose, Griffin, Taylor, Will Gordon, Ryan Moore. Not bad. All right, man. Thinking of stacking 5 PMAM players with a 10K stud, not fits. Yeah. I actually don't mind that at all. If the weather stays true to what the forecast is, I think that's perfect. I will say this, I did that not only did I do that at the Players Championship, I also did that the Genesis, I want to say, and the weather just didn't cooperate. Like the players obviously had their delay moved to the next day. I think there was one delay at one of the other events that pushed, I don't know, maybe it was the Honda. I did well at the Honda. Maybe it was the API. Yeah, I think it was the API. I didn't do so hot at the API. And I think it was the weather wave. So I don't know about 5 and 1. I mean, by all means, it is a very risky play, and you could win all the money that way for sure. But I'm gonna keep my maxes set at 4 and 2, or 4 and 5, I should say. And I might handpick my AM PM golfers, because kind of like you, I am thinking about that. So you can obviously see the 10K golfers up here are AM, and then obviously we have Fitzpatrick as a PM golfer. Well, I don't mind going like Thomas and maybe Fleetwood or Justin Rose. It's fine. I think Ben Griffin gets chosen a lot, so maybe I exclude him. Wyndham Clark is in the PM wave. That's not terrible for an 8K golfer. Benny Ann shows up a lot, so maybe I, lock in one of these guys. It's good to see this. A bunch of AM golfers that might just get royally screwed. Yeah, maybe I just set my AMs to 3. I don't want more than 3. I think that's fine. I'm going to keep it like that. Thomas, Harmon. So I'm sure we select 3, 8. Yeah, okay. Well, if I do 2, what do we get?
getting a cat.
I think Brian Harmon just gets selected if we have JT as our main dude.
It's a smart litter box that doesn't smell like
Don't really care for that, honestly.
automatically does the scooping. Litter robot. Yeah. And I don't even have to think about it until the app notifies me it's time to remove the waste bag.
Hey, litter robot.
Not terrible.
Not everything can be as smart as Litter Robot. Say hey to Litter Robot and goodbye to scooping. The smart appliance that helps without asking.
This optimizer is just going to be manipulated by Akshay, and Ben Griffin. It's going to always want to select those guys. Here we go. I don't mind this lineup. This is a 4 and 2. 4 and 2. 4 p.m. to a.m. Solid. I don't mind that at all. Kind of stinks because a lot of your value is in that AM wave. So tough. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. This is going to be a hard scoring event either way. I don't think really the wind is going to matter all that much when it comes to scoring. I just don't think scoring is going to be very easy. So I'm probably going to just keep my AM to 3, most likely. So I think that's it, though. We're done. We are done. But I will answer Alex's comment. I'm starting to feel like the 6K golfers you want to play are the ones that made the cut at the Players last week. Kind of a course comp. Yeah, and I mean, the 6K region is the 6K for a reason. It's a lot of volatility there. I'm joking when I say this. I would always be, not so much joking, but I'm trying to keep it lighthearted. Always be leery of making definitives or making any kind of thought process when it comes to 6K, the 6K range. I think you have to not have any kind of bias when it comes to the 6K and just select golfers at random when it comes to that range. But that's my 2 cents. I think if you want to do whatever you want with the 6K, you certainly do. And maybe you can find a pattern with that. I think that's fine. But anyways, Alex, if you have more questions, email me. You know where to find me. I'm going to call it a night. It's late. I'm tired. So appreciate everybody jumping on. I'm not going to do giveaway reminders. I don't know if anyone really watches all the way to the end anyways, but there are giveaways. Go check the beginning of the video to see what the giveaway reminders are. That's it for me. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on your way out, and I'll see you in the